Hello everyone, how are we doing? Just checking the bracket, which apparently has just been set to go live. We can either take Rogue Harson or Shin Percival first round. Both of those sound kind of cool, to be honest. I actually have no preference. Oh, Harson's not even streaming. Crazy. Alright. We might have other people might be trying to stream Rogue Harson as well, in which case we might switch it up to Shin Percival or so, but Rogue Harson is also pretty cool. Honestly, there's a lot of cool sections of the bracket. There's a lot of stuff that just leads through quite nicely, so I imagine it's going to be pretty fun. Kind of no matter what. Alright. we're gonna go Rogue Harson. Cool. Roddy's gonna take something different. Cool, so we're gonna go like I say, we're gonna go Rogue Harson. To start us off. Leads into potentially Classic if Classic takes down Nicorect unless there's an upset there. Personally, I think we're probably just gonna sit in this section of the bracket all day. If I'm gonna be honest with you guys in terms of expectations, so I think that's probably what we're gonna try and do. WardiTV on 103-month resub on a Prime. Guys, need inspiration, hit that Prime sub, be like WardiTV today, Prime us up, and we can work our way back towards 6, maybe even 700 subs again. Incredible, huh? Yeah, we'll just wait for this game to get set up then. Cool. We'll jump onto that one. So yeah, we'll go Harson versus Rogue. Yeah, I think we just sit in this section of the bracket. Shin Percival was cool, but I think Harson Rogue is more interesting. Yeah, we'll just kind of follow from there. Honestly, the whole bracket's fun. Max Spag's in a little bit of a PvP section, but he'll meet probably Bjorn Solar in the semi-finals. I mean, by the time we get to the semis, everyone's going to cast anything, or cast everything anyway, because it's both semi-finals get cast. There shouldn't be too much else going on at that point in time, so I imagine that'll be a factor as well. So yeah, we'll probably go Harson Rogue, just get that set up, and hopefully get underway in a couple of moments. Like I say, just a couple of minutes of getting ourselves up and rolling here, and ready to rumble. How's everyone doing? Hope everyone is having a wonderful Wednesday so far. Yeah, we're going to be here for the LIULI Cup, and then we're back to team games tomorrow and Friday as we have 3v3 and 4v4. That reminds me, I need to set up the TL calendars for those. We'll have to do that at some point tomorrow, I guess. Or some point later today. Probably makes sense. Alright, cool. Cool. I will press that button, and we're just waiting for the game then, guys. It's as simple as that. We're just waiting for Rogue and Harson to be done vetoing. Usually this is why I spy on Harson and see how quickly he's vetoing, but he's not online, so I can't even spy at the man. Unless he's live on is he doing a cheeky YouTube live? Only? Nope. He's just gonna play the tournament. Crazy. Crazy stuff. Imagine playing tournaments without even streaming. Freaking try hard. Freaking try hard. Ay. So yeah, I'll just take a moment or two. Like I said, just waiting for Halston and Rogue to host up, and we should be able to rumble on forward and get into some StarCrafting. And yeah, just ready to cast some games at the CLDR. Nothing super crazy, just excited to cast some games. Rogue just joined up into a lobby, so it looks as though we will likely have some action here in a moment. Oop. Trying to just misclick someone's party invite. Perfecto. Oh, this is the mainstream as well, even better. We have casters that will observe for us. Beautiful. Alright, so Halston versus Rogue, guys. First round of today's LIULI Cup. LIULI Cup is now a $500 tournament. They added $25 to round of 8. So, yeah, they added $25 per player to the round of 8, so it's now a $500 cup instead of $400. So that's awesome. Even more players getting paid out. Kind of makes it worth signing up, man. I mean, some people get a buy into round of 8. You win one best of 3 and you're already in the money, so it definitely makes this the hottest cup on the go. I mean, pretty crazy, because honestly, $400 cups, which is what we run for WardiTV Mondays, are already extremely difficult to sustain. I've just been looking at the WardiTV finances lately, and it's like, man, without, obviously, for WardiTV Mondays, we have OSC, Winter, and Loco supporting. They just would not work out without those guys, because the $400 cups, they're just not cheap. They're not cheap, they're expensive. You could even argue that maybe it's not even the best format to run, because the viewership kind of takes a while to build up when you don't know who's going to play and so on, and it then happens so quickly. But I do think it's good to have a good amount of open competition, leaving it open for everyone to play, so there is that kind of aspect to it as well. As in the upper right hand side, we're going to start things off with our red Zerg player here. This is Rogue, taking on the blue Protoss in the bottom right. We're starting on Torches, which is a pretty fun map. Because obviously, since I've come back, the 1v1s I've casted mostly been in the Maestros tournament. We casted some WardiTV Mondays, but it means that we didn't actually have this map in the map pool, so I haven't seen as much of this lately, as Halston is in the bottom right-hand side. But yeah, I haven't seen this map a lot lately, just because it's not been in the map pools, and it's sometimes the more oddly chosen one. Rogue gonna draw the gold base down, and I just actually made a thumbnail the other day of... yeah, I just made a thumbnail the other day of the MaxPax Rogue game that happened on this map, where MaxPax was top right and Rogue was bottom right, and Rogue kind of did the gold base thing, and he ended up Spore Crawler Rush, and there was spores in MaxPax's main base, and it was a thing, and it was actually very fun to watch. It was a very good game, and there was also a game where Rogue spawned top right and MaxPax bottom right, and it ended in 2 minutes because the plan that Rogue had just got completely shut down. So what I'm saying is that this could either be insanely awesome and fun, or completely disappointing. I do think that these builds oftentimes lead towards less exciting games more often than not, simply for the fact that a lot of the time people just mess up the defense or the offense, and it's so cutthroat, these build orders, when you're trying to break through the gold minerals and kind of flood through or so. We'll see if, like I say, that's exactly what we want to do here as Rogue. It's not necessarily the path you have to take. You can, of course, just kind of play this gold base as an eco base. You take it on the offensive side just because it's easy to defend the drones here, even though it's a few steps further forward. So yeah, we'll see what the plan around is going to become in the next little bit. The drones jump onto the gold. And just gonna see the probe coming across as well. A couple overlords spreading themselves out as you just look to see what they can spot early. It doesn't look as though Rogue's gonna get too aggressive. Halston with the Stargate should keep him fairly safe here for the most part as well initially, so that part is also looking very reasonable for the moment. Looking good. That MaxPax hold was gold. Like, yeah, I'm glad the people remember it, because it was actually a really sick game. You know what it is? I forgot about the game, but as soon as I went into the game to make a thumbnail for it, I was like, oh my god, this game was so sick. I'm so happy I accidentally chose this one as the one I went into to make a thumbnail from. It was, yeah, it was a really sick game. Really, really cool. Really fun. And MaxPax defending that in the end was kind of crazy. It's so funny how sometimes your answer to Spores and Queens is just even more Oracles. Like, if I can just build enough Oracles I can out-DPS anything, then I can just win. Seems to be the stance that they take a lot of the time. It's a very fun way of setting up. As a few links continue to gather, so it is going to be aggression from Rogue. The link speed coming through. Halston has got a spotter watching the gold minerals for them being mined out, so that's exactly what he's looking to work around on there. Obviously, a couple queens gathering, and that lane count is growing, so it's getting close to the point where we might be able to compete a little bit. Just going to see the Zerglings on the way through. Oracle in the Warp Gate. Building from Harsum. He's very close to having a lot of good stuff to help him here. Like I say, let's see how we can do here. The Adepts are not going to be able to protect from the Queens. Some of the drones that show up to mine this out already have gold minerals in their hands, though, which means they can't actually mine. What we do now, starting to make some progress through, and these Lings are going to be ready to flood in a moment. Batteries are coming up as we begin to recognize the threat that exists here from Rogue. The Lings are going to flood forward. The Queens are stepping through as well. We are going to see this wrap around on the Adepts. Ooh, energy overcharge goes on the Oracle. The Adepts do not get committed on just yet. I think we're probably going to try and wait for the Queens to help against the Oracles. We desperately need these batteries, is what it's going to truly come down to, though. We need these batteries big time, and we are starting to see them coming into play. It's a full surround on the Adepts. The Oracles will get some good damage out while the Queens are not in reach, but now the batteries are busy on the Adepts. The Oracles have to be careful. Resonating Glaives on the way from Harsum, which eventually would be great, but we're not there just yet. Spores are stepping forward as well as we look to get more in position to keep on helping us out here. We'll see Lings up in the main base. 14 probes have gone down, but Rogue is on 18 workers. He needs to kill 14 more to equalize. Well, not 14 more, 10 more. My math is completely off there, but he needs to kill 10 more to get, equal worker count here. Natural starts to go down. I think you can be okay here as Harsum if you let the natural die. That's what happened when MaxFax played this situation. Harsum's going to type GG. It's interesting. I wonder, the Glaive is obviously very expensive. The Twilight Council too. What MaxFax really had going for him when this was kind of against him was that MaxFax had, it might not be the exact same situation as well. I'm thinking back of a game from a little while ago, so I might not be fully accurate here. But MaxFax did have the just the constant Oracle production, and I really think that that went a long way to just keep cranking out Oracles, because it does so much for you there as we head into Persephone, as we get this ready to go. Why are SC2 tournaments at 3 AM? It's brutal for support. Because this is the prime time for the European and Korean server crossover. So it's 1 PM, it's afternoon for Europeans, it's late evening, 8 PM for Koreans. So unfortunately, the majority of players are European and Korean, at least the majority of players that want to play. So yeah, I mean, basically, if we put it any later, it becomes a Europe-only event, because honestly, American players just don't participate anyway. It's very rare we actually get Americans kind of coming out to play too often. So that's why a lot of my events are at this time. This is why this is my stream time as well. Typically as well, this is also one of the best viewership times. From here for the next 8 or 9 hours is typically the best viewership kind of period, because what happens is that as Europeans start to go to sleep and head off for the night, the American viewership does not make up for that. And there's also some Korean viewership that obviously gets lost as well. And so there's just this crossover of time where the only viewership is American, and unfortunately it's the weakest viewership as well. There used to be some tournaments that would run at like, they were like, say, like 3 AM my time. And that's like a pretty good, it's like a morning start for the Koreans, a late morning start for them. So it was like focused at being Korean Cups. But the viewership just wasn't there, because there was no Korean viewership, because that just wasn't a thing. And there was just very little American viewership when that was a thing too. So it really is just a situation of when, where the viewers are at and all of that. Obviously, everyone's different. It's just, sadly, the majority lies in this. And, yeah, it's a little bit rough for West Coast and A. America really, like, I always remember thinking when Base Trade TV were casting, I always remember thinking it was the sweet deal being European, because it was super rare that I would have to do anything at like a really weird time of night, because so few people would start in the middle of the European night, because it was nighttime for NA and they didn't really do that too much. And even if they did, it would be like, usually for NA events we'd start at like midnight or 1 AM, and that's not super crazy. Whereas, West Coast NA oftentimes has the 4 AM starts or so. Yeah, I always thought that was a brutal one. So 7 AM here, breakfast in SC2. I mean, it works for some people. Like I say, I mean, the beauty is, at the very least, not everyone likes watching the VODs, but we do stream everything on YouTube nowadays, so you can obviously watch the VODs in full. Every single stream is archived, so you can watch and catch up, and all of that good stuff. The feelings are going to head down to the bottom side of the map from Rogue. Send that straight across to the south, so he's going to be early pooling. Awesome knows about it, is going to start the wall off up and should be fairly safe against this. I find it difficult to believe that these Lings are going to find too much opportunity here. As they arrive, they're going to start nibbling. Rogue is already just double expanding as well. Awesome has a Zealot out and an Adept on the way. He can afford to take some damage on the gateway. This is absolutely fine for him. He should not be worried in the slightest. 9 PM in Australia represent. Yeah, I see a couple of people from Australia as well. Nice to hit the maybe not quite prime time, but close to prime time Australia time zones too. So yeah, there's just realistically, there's just a lot of good crossover at this time of the day. I would say like 3 to 4 hours from now is kind of peak time, because it's really like when Europeans start coming home, it increases a little bit more, and also there's more Americans that watch like during work, for example. I think that's really the hotspot, and it's still maybe if you're late night in Asia or Australia, you can still watch too. I think that if 3 or 4 hours from now really is the sweetest spot of all, to be honest. You tell all your friends to watch StarCraft, but you don't have any because you watch StarCraft. Well, you just need StarCraft friends. That's what we're here for. That's what we're here. I can't talk. That's what we're here for, surely. There's a couple of Adepts that are going to shade through. The Zerglings are going to be on guard and waiting to potentially jump onto some of those Adepts and look for some potential damage. The Adepts are going to take a few steps back. And Hearthstone going to get a few Ling kills. He obviously commits into the main base, but I'd say that this is fine so far. Getting a bunch of Lings quite nicely. That spawning pool right off over to the side. I think that's just to give you a heads up of an Oracle flying in, or Prism flying. I mean, not ideal position if the Zealots come in and hit that position, but maybe by then you don't mind, replacing the spawning pool if you have to. Queens of the Lings continue to come about for a little longer. Let's just have Lings, drones, spores, Ling speed, a little bit of everything on the way through for the moment. Oracle will activate a few drones, still going down, so just going to see a few of those getting picked away. The Spore Crawler getting a few more shots off, 7 workers killed. But Hearthstone getting some really good damage done. Me and Hearthstone were casting the other day, a couple weeks ago maybe now, but I was always talking about how I always feel like Solar is one of those players that just has troubles keeping workers alive early, and he was like, who else though? And I was like, the one other guy that immediately comes to mind is Rogue, and here we have Rogue losing a whole bunch of workers super early in the game. That's not going to keep him in a comfortable spot in the slightest. That's going to make his life a little bit difficult here as the Adept falls back a little bit. The few Zerglings gather back together once more. Nexus, Twilight Council, Gateways will continue to build through as we have a little bit of a energy recharge on the Oracles, and they are going to get back towards the top. So they move up top, Zergling around the left side. Gates and the Forge continue to come by as well. Let's say our Nexus about to come through. Probes in the blink. Building also. And again, a couple of Queens are going to be there to knock down the Oracles and to push those away. Now the upgrade will build. That's the choice from Rogue, which is not a bad choice. Melee is always a very fine style, especially against the Blink Stalkers. It's what you want to be playing against. If this was a faster charge or anything, then you're a little bit upset as Rogue to be playing Melee. Against the Stalkers, this is, yeah, like I say, the ideal situation. And it's not end of the world for Hearthstone. It's like, no, you're building Stalkers against the Melee Lings. It's not like that at all, right? It's just, yeah, it's not like that at all. It's just, it's a little bit easier for the Lings to be effective against Stalkers. Queens do not get the transfusion off there, so that is going to be a dead Queen, and the Oracle is able to succeed. It's a really nice pick-off, just be able to grab a Queen there. Hearthstone PvZ, when you kind of stop and think about it, is actually a really interesting matchup, because I feel like, yeah, Hearthstone doesn't have those results that are super consistent, but there's been series where Hearthstone has beaten like a Solar or so. This happened, it's probably like 3 or 4 months ago now, so maybe I'm digging deep, but there's been these series where Hearthstone looks really good and really solid in PvZ, gets a really good start to the game, looks very comfortable throughout as well. And you have the couple Stalkers there going after the Zergling, and just going to knock that down as you continue to step through. Templar Archives also producing online. Plus one attack upgrade charge on the way. Just going to see the couple of Oracles and the Stalkers still gathering up. Another Revelation going down as a couple of Crew Tumors will be picked away at. Zerglings are going to be right there, getting into the action. Once again, Rogue's already shown this run by a couple of times, coming straight back in with it. I mean, it does mean there's less Lings across the map, but does he just have enough Lings anyway? He's taking some damage initially too. That's not a lot of Lings, but I actually don't love that we target fire the Queen. I think we need to start getting rid of the Lings ASAP. You get rid of those and these Stalkers can stick around. Hitting the Queen is sort of meant to be like a follow-up or a pick-up afterwards. I mean, this is still being fine back at home for Hearthstone. He does deal with those Lings, and Rogue even trails on supply coming out of this. No money in the bank or anything that's going to necessarily change that. You're going to see a couple High Templar morphing in here. He could just morph an Archon with these. It would probably be a good call. Because A, they're about to die, and B, the Archon will actually just help a lot against this harassment of Lings. Although, maybe that Archon's too exposed. It dies before anything happens. The run-bys are really nice because it forces the Oracles back. And because the Oracles come back, the Stalkers come back. It's not that you necessarily want to bring the Stalkers here. It's more that because the Oracles come over here, you then have to bring the Stalkers, because the Stalkers rely on those Oracles to deal with the Zerglings. So if you can't keep the Stalkers on the top, if you can't keep the Oracles on the top of the map, the Stalkers can't be there either, because then you're really threatening being surrounded. So it does, just in general, these run-bys give Rogue some breathing room. He finally breaks free of the Stalker contain on the other side, and he can more freely set up. Now, he did get a 4th base towards the upper right-hand corner, so able to get that 4th hatchery going there, and you will get a 5th hatchery going just into the center right side of the map as well here on Persephone. It actually cancels the 4th base of Harston, so Harston will be struggling for his own 4th in comparison. Shouldn't be too far off being able to make it happen, though, as a few of the Stalkers come blinking back. A couple of additional Zealots come warping through. Oracle still cruising around. The Lings on that bottom right-hand side gathering about. Stalker's going to be right there. I just take the chance to move down the right. Again, a couple Oracles move over the side as well. Infestation Pit, Lings. A little bit of everything still coming through as the Mystical Augment, Overlord Speed, +1 missiles. All building up for the moment. I was able to grab a Zealot. +2 attack about to finish. You've got that Lurky Den building. That's obviously the game plan of Rogue. We see where he wants to get to. Osman is going to get his 4th base finally underway. That's going to get him to feel a lot more comfortable and confident in this game. That 4th base is going to provide a lot of longevity. And if you can hold the 4 base setup, then brilliant. Obviously, Lurkers are going to be a big problem. You can definitely expect to see the Lurkers get into a couple of nice positions. So that's a good job catching those Hydras. Now got a Storm to save our High Templar over here, though. They are going to save them for the moment. Hydra Lings still coming through. And one more Storm. We have a few Zealots still. We might have to morph the Archons on those High Templar. Going to lose 2 out of 4. Keeps the other 2 alive and doesn't get there to play defense. My concern about the Lurkers, mostly for Harston, is that if they get into position, they can be so scary. And there's a big position out the front of the natural between the 3rd and the 4th on that high ground. But if they sit there, you can really pin the Protoss down from any angle they want to attack from. And that becomes a really difficult position for then Harston to break out of. So Harston needs to try and be proactive in stopping Rogue from being able to get the Lurkers in that aggressive spot in the first place. Because once they are set up there, he's basically going to have to attack into Lurkers. And even if you do that from 2 or 3 angles, I mean, one of the angles being the natural is going to be difficult because you've got a wall off there, so pushing out from there is difficult, obviously. But if you come in from even top left and bottom right, you're still attacking into pre-siege Lurkers. You're still attacking into a position that is going to be extremely tough to break. So, concerned for that if he lets it get there, and that's got to be one of his priorities now, not letting this game get to that stage where the Lurkers are just preemptively placed. And you can see what Rogue is doing with the Dropper Lords. He's going to try and make it chaotic so he can get the Lurkers into a good position. He might even try and drop the Lurkers. But he's looking to cause chaos because he understands that Harston should know that just letting him waltz up the front shouldn't be allowed, right? And so Rogue is going to try and outplay and multitask Harston into a position where he makes the mistake of not being aggressive at the front and not holding off those Lurkers from burrowing and sieging. So I think that is going to be the game plan here. Mothership and Tempest on the way. We are making good progress towards an anti-Lurker army. But there is a timing window where the Tempest count is just not really existent. This timing right now is really the opportunity for Rogue to get in there and start causing some chaos. And if you get enough done right now, that can really kind of carry you through the next few stages of the game as well. 20 Lings, a couple of Lurkers. Lings get through there, picking off a Stalker as well. More Lings going through. The Storm comes down. The Hydra's going to take a hit. It's going to be seen the Lurker's going to continue about there. The few Zealots still coming over. It's going to see the Dropper Lord's going to be jumped on immediately. This is amazing. 2 full Dropper Lords. 3. Oh, he blinks and he gets the only 1 Hydra out. Meanwhile, Zealots in the main base are keeping a lot of the Lurkers back over here. Harston with the defense. Rogue's plan of going a little bit all over the place is being absolutely stopped dead in its track. Very, very nicely done so far as +2 missiles, +2 melee both continue to build through here. Again, +2 missiles and +2 melee both coming about. Seeing a couple spires on the way through as well. It's just going to keep that all going comfortably for the moment. Templars, Archon, Stalkers, again, going to find themselves gathered up. The few Tempers joining together as well. I'm just going to be seeing the army collecting onto that left-hand side. The Spires coming through, Overlords and Lurkers on the way. Add that +2 melee into action as well. Awesome's maxed out to me. This is why I feel like Awesome should feel very confident. He's dealt with the initial wave of Lurkers. He's on a good army composition of his own. The only concern is that Rogue is starting to take the map. He's expanding twice over right now to the gold base and to the top left as well. And he's starting to get creep right out through the middle of the map as well. And that might put a bit of pressure on you here as Hostum. A bit of a timer on the, hey, we got to get moving. We got to get going. You know, we got to do something sooner rather than later. So that's where we sit at the moment where, like I say, I think it's a little bit, you know, getting to the point where it's a little bit of like, hey, we got to kind of get this going, we got to get this moving. And so Hostum may feel the need to push out, and that should give Rogue then some more opportunities to potentially fight this army. If Hostum sits back, is that okay for him? I mean, you go into 5 bases. I'm still concerned that the Zerg has a lot, but the Zerg army is also not currently improving. So right now, it's probably fine if Hostum sits back. It's if you start seeing the Zerg getting everything they need for the the rest of the game, then maybe it would have been nice to apply some pressure. It's a really difficult kind of balance to find of whether you want to attack or not. He's doing a good job of still maintaining those Lurkers kind of far enough away that they're not going to be dangerous onto any of his bases or structures, while also keeping an army split so that he has pressure on both sides. He's actually going to join up together because he maybe sees the chance to, you know, knock through a few of these Lurkers, and Rogue realizes that Hostum is looking for that exact opportunity, takes a step away. And Hostum now will come on to creep. Immediately you see a few units on the left-hand side try to run by on the mini-map, but that was not allowed. Hostum deflects. There's a ton of cannons there as well, so Ling run-bys are going to be extremely minimal over on that far left side. Tempest's going to be able to get the job done here as well as they continue to punch through a few of those Lurkers. Hydras come surging forward. Zealots and Archons turn into the Zerglings fight and kill. And the Tempests are back to business right now as well, as they get straight in and continue to fire themselves up at a few of those Lurkers. +3 melee, +3 missiles, both continue to come online. The Corruptors and Niduses building as well here. Just going to see a couple more Storms dropping straight down, knocking some changelings away. Hostum is comfortably pushed onto the map. We do now start to see Corruptors added. Is it a bit late? Is it going to be enough? 7 Corruptors doesn't seem like a lot when there's... Okay, there's actually only 4 Tempests. Why did I think this Tempest army was so much larger? I felt like it was such a larger Tempest count, but it's really not. I guess 8 Corruptors is probably reasonable. It's weird though, because 8 Corruptors doesn't feel like they'll survive long enough to even still kill, you know, Tempests here, especially because there's so much anti-air on the ground. You see 2 of them getting deleted straight away. The Overseers are going to fly in. It looks as though we're going to commit to this fight. Gonna make it awkward. Lurkers coming in from every angle. High Templars coming in with the Storms, trying to do their thing. Time Warp goes down on the Lurkers to the top side. Hostum commits here. There are so many Lurkers to the left. This big group just doing nothing at all. Hostum finally stepping away from this. We do see the Tempests have been taken out by the Corruptors. Those Corruptors able to put in some work, and a rebuild of 24 Hydras on the way from Rogue. Resources lost is going to favor Hostum heavily, though, coming out of this. Obviously, Rogue's already spent money to rebuild here. That's a lot lost for Hostum. Look at that army supply dropping down. But that is, again, because Rogue is insta-rebuilding while Hostum takes a few moments. Hostum sets up a new mothership. He goes into Immortals. He looks for a ground army against the Tempest, which I don't love because... against the Lurkers, sorry, because I don't love it because obviously the Lurkers are very powerful on the ground. But maybe rebuilding building Tempest at this point is just going to invite the Corruptors to be useful again, whereas now they just have to try and caustic spray, which static defense should be able to stop. We do get Max back out. Both players having a reasonable bank. Hostum with the better bank still, and he actually has had Zealots making work happen. He got rid of the gold base. He's, over time, gotten rid of a lot of the creep in the center as well, so he's actually able to stay very aggressive with his army. Gets a bunch of freebie lings that they just kind of run through there. The Lurkers burrowing up. And we do see another round of 10 Zealots warped in. Remember, we just built 3 Immortals, so when they join up, there's going to be so much more damage output available. They might have to come over here, though, and deal with these Lurkers, because that is a position you do not want to have under fire throughout this game. You want to clean that up and get back to mining on that right-hand side 6-base position. Nidus is into the main base as well. We'll see how Hostum deals with that in a few moments. And these Overseers are even low as well. Wondering if Storms might actually kill off some of those. The Corruptors fly through looking for the oracles, remove the revelations as options, but the Nidus does go off, lurkers into the main. Awesome's going to respond by warping in a group of zealots over here. Mothership going to recall in as well, but that's a massive recall to bring this army back for just 3 lurkers. That should be able to get away. But Rogue's not paying attention, so he doesn't get away. Wow, we missed the revelation. One of the lurkers still alive, still has to be dealt with. The lurkers on the right side and that Nidus, they're annoying too, so Hearthstone going to have issues. He's going to lose his 6 space on the right, it seems. And obviously took some damage elsewhere as well. Now down to 61 probes. Army supply good, but all of his minerals in the bank gone. Because he's just been warping in so many zealots as responses to these attacks and harassment, trying to get himself back on track and back facing the right way in this game. It's another nice storm onto the Lings as Rogue obviously still trying to keep this chaotic. What Hearthstone has achieved in this game that isn't maybe like, you know, it may not seem directly kind of influenced, but basically TLDR, Rogue is not teching any further, right? No Vipers, no Infestors, and it's because Rogue doesn't feel like he's got the money or the time to build into that later game army because of how Hearthstone started to attack. He took position on the map, and that's what I was saying, like, it's that fine line of, do you let the Zerg sit there and you sit back because your army's better, so you don't want to put yourself at risk attacking into the map, or do you kind of sit back and let the Zerg then actually take the chance to build everything? Hearthstone did this cool balancing act of, hey, I'm going to step on the map and be a threat, so you can't just get away with anything, but I'm not going to step so far forward that the engagement was always going to be on your side. And when the engagement came, he handled it very well. He lost a lot of army supply, but Rogue lost a lot of army supply too, and now getting a catch on these lurkers could be massive. Storms will zone on the right side, trying to stop the reinforcements arriving. Zealots swarm those lurkers, they go down. New lurkers wandering into range as well. We have a revelation coming through that will allow these lurkers to be taken out as well. The couple corruptors that fly forward are very low HP. The overseers are kind of low as well. That may actually be an issue for Rogue in the long run. He is at the point of losing enough overlords to end up supply blocked, so he does need to not lose too many overseers, or he will actually have to spend a bunch of money that he has some money, but like, if you have to build 8 overlords right now, that's half your mineral bank. We're not so rich that we can just do whatever the heck we want right now. The one lurker that's left there on the High Temple is terrifying, mind you. Hearthstone again, his biggest problem still is no 6 base that's comfortably mining. I mean, right now you're going to get away with just the 5 bases, but again, over time, you want to try and make sure you have that extra access to additional income just to ensure you can see this game through to the end. Resources lost now 37k to 25k, still at 12,000 difference. Rogue has obviously been losing bases as well. It's not been simple for him. He's tried to mine the 3 o'clock gold base multiple times in this game and has been disallowed that multiple times over, so has not been able to get that going. A lot of Immortal Archon still building through. A nice little revelation hits a bunch of the lurkers up on the high ground as well. Overseers come morphing in, the +3 flyer attack. Gonna help power us up with +2 flyer carapace as well. Just talking about upgrades, we've not mentioned them in a while, but they are still rolling through for our Zerg. Not so much for Hearthstone. I mean, he's already got pretty much everything he needs. Maybe another shield or an air weapon upgrade. At this point, he's not really using air units though, so maybe just a shield would be nice. The lurkers getting caught, and again, just as they retreat away, they're going to go down, but they've done their job. The 6 base fell. How committed is Hearthstone right now? Does he feel like he has to push this heavily and break down this position? I love what Rogue is doing too. He's going to 28 lurkers. Why? Because Hearthstone gave up on the air game. Hearthstone gave up on all of those Tempests, and that was the biggest answer to high lurker counts. So because Hearthstone's no longer playing in that way, you are going to end up here as Rogue being able to build a massive lurker count, and then you are extremely strong on the ground. And that's going to create some issues for sure. 15 probes go down as the Archons continue to slam their way into a lot of those Zerglings playing cleanup already. The storms coming down. Ooh, these are great storms all across those lurkers. A couple of more is going to get busy. We're going to have to recall more units into this fight. Oh, has Hearthstone got enough? He recalls the extra units in. I mean, it's always going to be tough to find the lurkers. I think it's not going to be enough at all. He's going to have to go back to the rebuild board. That's probably a very good fight for Rogue, no. Still about 12,000 resources lost difference. Apparently Rogue is just mining that much more. I mean, Hearthstone just has a bank to spend. He needs to not lose too much retreating away right now. Again, this lurker count is just monstrous. Rogue was absolutely correct to build into the heavy lurkers. I think when Hearthstone, there was a moment he killed the Corruptors off. And I actually think right then, he should have started to rebuild some Tempests. Because if nothing else, it stops Rogue from playing this stupidly high lurker count. And it forces Rogue to build Corruptors, which eats into his Hydra lurker supply, which means you can't get to this sort of number either, right? So I really think that would have been a reasonable approach to take. As you see the Hydra lurker coming over to the left, Overseers overhead. Going to start diving in there. The lurkers are going to sit tight. I don't like this. There's too many lurkers, and I think Hearthstone's going to run out of steam because he just couldn't fight a higher lurker count. Rogue did a lot of smart things in this game, putting Hearthstone under pressure in the end because he never let that 6th base get back up. And then Hearthstone feeling like he had to fight with, which was in the end the suboptimal army because you're fighting into just that many lurkers, is obviously a little bit crazy. GG's, and Rogue will advance through to play against Classic, who has come through against Nicorrect. So I'm going to see some more Rogue ZVP up next as we're going to follow straight into that series, is what kind of makes sense for us to do. So we're going to head into that best of 3 and get that on the way. Man, I think Hearthstone was very close there. I think he had a lot of potential and was just a little bit shy, maybe a misinformed fight as well. And also the point where I feel like throughout the game he was very good at staying calm, but he got to a point where he was made to be desperate because, again, he felt like he was on time with no 6th base there. He still had a lot of money in the bank, though, so I still think he had a bit of time to play with. But understandable why he maybe felt the pressure to go a little bit sooner than he probably could have afforded to overall. Like I said, that sets us up into Classic versus Rogue. Beyond versus Solo already happening on the Korean server. That one's already started up. MaxPack's Creator already happening as well. So we're just going to go for the... Shin Percival apparently is still ongoing. And then also herO Let Alex. The winners of those will play each other. We're just going to go Classic Rogue. And we can obviously see where that puts us and see where that gives us. So we'll head into Classic Rogue in just a few moments as we head into our second PvZ of the day. Look at me, avoiding the Terrans, huh? I bet you didn't expect that from me today, guys. Avoiding the Terran players. This was just a cool section of the bracket. I think Hearthstone Rogue was a great opening match. And it actually was as well. Game 1 was maybe a bit not quite there, but that second game really brought it. Really felt like there was opportunity for Hearthstone to maybe take us to a Game 3. Obviously not meant to be in the end. We'll just wait for Classic and Rogue to veto and host themselves into their next series. Round of 8 time, so these players will have already earned $25 on the day. And after round of 8, it's semi-final time already. We should be casting both semi-finals back-to-back. And we are with the main stream as well, I believe. So it means that we don't have to worry about them starting like a semi without us, pretty much. We can just follow the main stream along, and we should be able to catch all of the games that we want to catch. Love it. Love, love, love it. The lobby's up already from Classic, so that wasn't taking no time at all. No time wasted on their videos. Not even coming out of our ads on Twitch yet. Crazy. Alright, Yo getting caught. So Classic and Rogue, do you seem to be ready? Rogue, I'm going to play some more ZVP right now. Classic, an absolute beast. These two did have a fun series at EWC, though, and they've had some fun series since as well, if I'm not mistaken. What did they play in that wasn't after EWC? Because I already talked about them playing at EWC in reference to a match they were playing somewhere. If LIULI loads, I'll let you guys know. I do feel like they played at in an event recently. They match up well because Classic can be that kind of dangerous player, but he's also very comfortable in the longer game. And then you've got Rogue, who we know is this super aggressive player that loves to be kind of up and in your face and being feisty all of the time as well, right? So, LIULI, slowly loading. Slowly but surely. Take us in game. What did they play in? So they played at eSports World Cup, and they played in the Leo Cup Weekly number 4 back on August 29th. Yes, that is probably exactly what I was thinking of then. And that was a 2-1 for Classic as well. That's what I think of when I see these two. I think Classic should win the series, but I do think Rogue puts up a fight, and their results recently, Rogue has always taken a map, so that does kind of stand true with our expectations. Top left-hand side, the blue Protoss player here is going to be Classic, and the bottom left, the red Zerg is Rogue. So, second series of the day for us, more ZVP on the way through. Knowing what comes of this between these two, then do get this underway and start it off. How aggressive is roGUE going to be? Back on Persephone, so we're going to see roGUE playing the same map he just played. See if he has a different style. Obviously, a lot of it can come down to what Classic is able to get done early as well, and obviously what Star Classic plays on top of everything as well, right? So I think that does already kind of introduce a little bit of intrigue in terms of how things play out, and so you see that probe just escaping out over toward the center. A couple Lings are going to come chasing as well. So far, so good. A couple Stargates, the Nexus, the Adept, and the Warp Gate all building by. See Queens and Drones coming up as well. And those couple Lings really do want to just get in after the probe right there, it seems. Yeah, seeing that Adept and Stargate coming through. Just going to see the Adept firing for a couple of Lings. Queen going to be right there as well. And the Adept will just go for the drone in the next few moments and just pick away at it. Again, nice little bit of early opening harassment. Adept takes some damage. But, yeah, we get a little bit done. Nothing too crazy. Don't think anyone's going to be overly upset there. The Adept being hurt maybe makes it easier to clean up if it comes back in as two Adepts. Actually, didn't take that much damage. It's already healed up. I didn't realize. I thought it took more damage when it's beyond its shield, so I am mistaken. And this Shade into the main is going to be good to try and get a little bit of damage dealt here. So Adepts get in. Drones are going to go and surround around. 4, 5 workers. 6 workers going down. Now the Adepts to the low ground. 7. Oh, roGUE. Now the Oracle shows up as well, just to add another couple into that number. 10 workers killed overall is obviously absolutely brutal in these early stages. So that is a lot of damage taken, and roGUE is already going to be hurting right off the bat on this one. Ouch. So yeah, that's going to be painful. The Zerglings are going to come back up toward the top, going to go toward the Nexus here, as the Oracle will continue to chase as well, looking after a few of those Zerglings, looking to see some opportunities. Twilight Council and Robo Facility coming up as well there. Let's just get that underway. Twilight Robo, a couple of assimilators, Nexus halfway done. You do lose an Oracle, which is a little sloppy from Classic, completely unnecessary. Obviously, he's murdering roGUE in the early stages with this harassment, but doesn't need to be losing a, shouldn't ever be losing the Oracles. Especially when you've already done so much as well. Just these Oracles are going to keep you alive in case a roGUE feels the need to turn up the pressure and be aggressive, etc. Like, Oracles are just going to be great for you. So there's a point where you definitely have just already done enough, and losing an Oracle trying to get more done is just unfortunate, right? In the charge building through. We do see additional gates coming about. The Stalker's going to be there, and that Overlord is instantly going to get grabbed. So Overlord going to get picked off. That Stalker combo will be able to get the kill on that one. Few more drones coming about. The Lair on the way. Evo Chamber and Overlord still building through. First one comes out, heading to the bottom side. Again, Lair, Overlords, Rotron on the way. You see a bunch more Zelts can get warped. I see those able to start moving into the main base. The charge upgrade here means you can hit fast as Classic, so it's a very fast follow-up considering he's just done good damage early. This is pretty committed as well, because the follow-up, you can see in the production tab, there's nothing on the way from Classic. He's just going to warp in purely Zealots, and he's going to add a Temple Archives as well, sure, but the chance of him just doing serious damage when he dealt so much damage early already was pretty high, and these Zealots are just not being killed. The Queens are going down, the Lings are not standing up to them well enough. GG from roGUE. Classic will waste no time at all in taking game number 1 of this BO3 in the quarterfinals today. Classic looking to fill up one of those semi-final slots with a Protoss. Could be a Protoss semi-final on this bottom side in general, because herO's on this side of the bracket as well. So, it's something that is potentially going on. Still got herO, Let Alex, Shin, and Percival section of the bracket. Not currently providing any results, so we'll take a few moments for that. GG and go. We'll head straight into the next game, guys. Countdown completes. Maganatha, big map as well. See what we get as we go into this here. Start this off and get this going. In the top left-hand side, we're going to have ourselves the blue Protoss player who does take the 1-0 lead in the series so far. This is going to be classic. Up against the red Zerg in the bottom right corner of the map, we've got Rogue. Game 2 of the BO3. As we get this settled into place. Yeah, Rogue took a lot of damage early last game. He's going to have to minimize that this time around. And while I don't know if Classic would kind of try and kill him in the same way a second time, there's a lot of other ways you can die. If you take that much damage right off the bat, you don't survive those situations a lot of the time, plain and simple. So, now Hatch coming through, the few additional drones coming up, Gateway and Assimilator coming by. The Overlords continue to settle into place here as they probe. Make some moves. Next on the way. Catching the pool on the way up as well. Thanks to Cybercore coming through. Drone just going to nibble. Probes going to be taking some shots. A little bit of opportunity early just to be annoying, but obviously we're mostly waiting to see what the game will give us in terms of build orders. This Classic just going to open Stargate again. Does he go for something like a bit crazy, like straight to Twilight Council or so? Well, things going to get straight on toward the probe. There's a bit of damage being done. That will take some hits. It's going to be having the Adept. Actually going to get caught here. It's much better than the last game. This time we actually do kill the Adept early. It's going to be much easier for Rogue because he took damage to the Adepts last time. Just the two Adepts getting in. It wasn't even the Oracles finding openings. It was the Adept. Super early in the game. One of those going down is going to limit the options for that to happen again, so that is going to be a pretty major positive. Nice to see the defense improving for Rogue so far. I want to see a proper game between these two. Kind of like how that first game Hearthstone fell to the Ling flood on torches. I want to see this game 2 here as Rogue fell to the Zealot pressure run against Classic. I want to see the game 2 really spice up and really come to life a little bit. I think there's a lot of potential for some really cool games here, so we will see. Ling's Queen, a few drones coming up, a couple of spores being added on as well. Oracle in the Warp Gate continuing to build into play. Add a couple of probes at the Nexus. keep bringing that through as the Queens are going to be there for chasing the Oracle back over to the left side just slightly and keeping track of that for the moment. Twilight Council will build with more Adepts on the way out, so 2 Oracles into Twilight. No Forge yet, so maybe could be a more aggressive variation. And then the Forge comes down to say probably not. Just Blinking +1, the most likely situation then on this one. It's a road drawn from Rogue as well, so you really want to go Blinking +1. That will be kind of, you know, what gives Classic a lot of options. Obviously, Blinkstalkers trade nicely against Roaches. There's going to be openings here for him to obviously come across the map as the, you know, Berserk gets towards his 4th base. The Stalkers can pressure that a lot as well. There's definitely some good moments coming through in the near future, I would say. There's the Adept still coming over. Just going to get one shot off. Nothing going down already. Queen's join up. Ling's going to gather. Just going to get some shots off there. Queen's going to go straight in after the Oracles. Adepts still join up, and the Adepts are going to step through. Ling's are going to come running through for this. The Adepts are going to recall, realizing there's not much opportunity, especially if they don't have glaives or anything, right? So they don't have huge damage output. Rogue continues to have great defense early in this ZVP. He is not letting anything kind of tilt him or get underneath his skin right now. Only 2 drones going down. That's amazing. Especially considering we're at the point where multiple Adepts have made plays into the natural, even having to recall out. Yeah, this has been very good for Rogue. Really a very different tale to that first game, so it is going to look very different. Yeah, the Monster Energy locals, just in case you wonder, are on the ground because we are in the middle of a TLMC. We'll be resuming the TLMC team game events tomorrow, so I just forgot to get rid of the logos file because I would have only forgotten to add it again tomorrow. So just in case you're wondering, that's kind of just for tomorrow. I'm sure no one's going to mind it being there for the day, so... But I know someone's probably like, why is there just Monster Energy logos everywhere? So that's all it is. Stalker stepping up, trying to come through. And they're going to put some pressure in. Hatchery will take a few shots. And you have the Adepts going to continue through there as well. Queens will take a few more hits. Some more damage being done right now as we just have the big push. I mean, for Rogue taking no damage at all, he should not end up in this position where he's in trouble to the first Stalker showing up. Loses 5 drones, starting to get this under control now, but he already lost a lot. 5 Queens went down, a bunch of the Lings. The Adepts definitely helping with that as well. And this gets a little bit out of hand, unfortunately, when it felt as though this game had been already very good for Rogue. He really does let that first Stalker pressure succeed. Now Storm on the way up as Classic looks to the future of a Storm upgrade, and obviously that, you know, takes you into a very strong mid-game. Stalkers will keep on trading up. The few Roaches going down. The Queen wanting to step forward. A couple of Oracles activating. You see those Roaches still getting picked away at. The Lings still moving through as well, and they are going to try and get on toward the Stalkers. Roaches with that chase down still happening. Stalker's doing a good job of pulling back and just taking a little bit of a cozy position. Now going to see the Overseer taking some shots as well. The Ling's still stepping through. And they'll try and get a bit more done. Look down high, both on the way as Rogue looks for the next stage of his game. Obviously get there, and a lot of your problems will start to kind of alleviate just because you're going to have that better composition to work with. Going to get a grab onto that Nexus. That will do a bit of damage already. The Roach Hydra continuing across. A couple of Stalkers taking shots. Just the Ling right there. Going to pull back. Now some Roach Hydra going to get caught in that stasis with the Stalkers. They keep on trying to fight because we've missing a few of the units. The Lings on the other side at least will get through to the natural to try and be annoying again. Stalkers coming in once more. Still settling, just going to be seeing the Hydras trying to come through as well. Call me on the lag, the disconnect. I'll just take a moment here. This looks like a full DC, obviously, so just a few more seconds. We'll drop him out and we'll get back on track. Obviously, Classic was just dealing with these few lings that are running by into his natural. Has been pushed back on the front door of Rogue as well, so overall, I would say it's fair to say that right now that things are just settling down a little bit. Roach Hydra gathering back through. A few drones are going to jump in toward the extractor. Stargate and a fleet beacon coming down here from Classics. Just going to get that underway as well for a couple of moments. The High Templar still coming through. The Stalkers still getting set up as well. Workers coming about. A couple of Lings and Roaches and Hydras getting some shots off. Now going to be seeing another Storm or two coming down on the Roach Hydra right there as the Lings going to continue to run on by. Oracle going down. We will just see the next Storms coming in. Still it's the Roaches and the Hydras. They're going to be taking a good chunk of damage here so far. Turning around. Another Storm for the Roaches. Lings on the other side are still trying to cause some chaos, but we need some units to actually fight here. The Lurkers are going to try and do their job, but they're not protected by anything. I mean, they do pretty well. A couple of Roaches showing up. One Lurker left. The Lurkers honestly did a lot. We got rid of, honestly, probably enough units to kind of survive here. We are chasing down the High Templar as well, trying to even just force them into an Archon, right, is kind of a big deal, because that means less Storm recharging. Oh my god, that Archon gets away, though. Felt like we had the kill on that one. Obviously doesn't happen. Now just Hydras, we do need to be careful, because obviously they are very flimsy units. The last thing you want here is for the Hydras to be super exposed on their own. This Classic just lets these zealots kind of charge on through and just lets them kind of run into their death there. Not really much to be gained. Thought he might have pulled them back and tried to regroup. Can't believe the Archon got away. That low HP guy is going to be able to go home, regenerate shields, and just be full of HP once again. That's kind of a crazy occurrence. There's a couple Tempests will be starting up on the side of Classic. The Immortal coming through as well. There's a couple of Lurkers coming up. The Overlord speed building. Pop these rocks down. Rock tower will fall. Classic starting to think a little bit about his own defense now, just in case Rogue does shove across the map with those Lurkers. Knocking those rocks down limits the directions in which the Lurkers can attack in at least as quickly. If you obviously stop to kill off the rocks, then it's at least going to take you time and give you more preparation time here as Classic. Michael Lurker to the right side, going to go after the watchtower, and Creep Spread's starting to really kind of bully its way out onto the map as well after being, you know, withheld a little bit because of the pressure of Classic. It's starting to take some steps out. Classic also well underway to Tempest, though. I think Rogue is probably right in not getting too aggressive right now and instead just getting the Spire ready and looking for a later game method to really play cleanup on this incoming army that his opponent is building. So, all that making sense. The Lings get through there. They're going to go after a couple and kill off a couple of those Zealots, able to knock those down. What's up, Pig? Thanks so much for the raid. Hello, everyone. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for joining us. Up in the Leo Cup right now. Currently in the round of 8. It's Classic 1-0 up against Rogue. It's been an interesting start. Classic has had some aggression. And was starting to break through on Rogue, who just about found the defense. Lurkers coming to his rescue. I would say the game right now is stabilizing through to a fun state where Rogue is prepping to deal with the Tempest Force. And Classic is prepping to just play kind of late game in general. Rogue even going to go double Spire, so he's going to be pretty serious about getting upgrades for these Corruptors as well, knowing that they are likely to be necessary throughout the rest of this game. You know, unlike Horsem, who built 4 Tempests and then never built an air unit again, it's very likely that Classic will look to rebuild this air army a few times over and maybe even force multiple fights out of the same air army. So, not a surprise that double upgrades may be on board for the air units with that double spire. Now Classic waiting for the spires to complete and for Rogue to have a counter. Rogue already can... The problem is for Classic is he can't attack too soon, because obviously right now maybe you could argue he could go across the map, but before now his Tempest count was kind of low, so just the Hydras could have been a threat. And obviously you're moving out onto creep as well. So Classic's also in this state where he just kind of wants to say, hey, I just want to get set up further, right? 5th base, get, fully maxed out, really get that Tempest count building, because he wants to make sure he can get rid of Lurkers quickly. And that's the problem, is that moving out and attacking in probably wasn't just going to be okay with 4 to 6 Tempests. And now at the point he probably could, we're at the point where Corruptors are building, so Classic still kind of wants to still play that kind of defensive game for a bit longer. Wow, look at that. Is that an aggressive recall forward onto this army trying to give chase? That's an interesting way to use the Mothership recall. Puts that on cooldown. Not sure if it was worthwhile. A few Lurkers counterattacking on the other side. And Classic's feeling like this is his moment to go, but we have got the Corruptors about to spawn. Can we get those Corruptors joined together and kind of all, in at the same time to truly take this fight? This Classic is stepping onto creep as well, so this is going to be the opening if there is one here for Rogue. There are a bunch of High Templar that have full energy, by the way. As they're going to start dropping storms. Looks as though we're going to start committing through. Corruptors trying to dodge as best they can, getting forwards. And the Archons underneath are going to shred as well. Rogue, I just don't think is going to really look too happy in this fight. Two Corruptors still alive. Wow, he really built a lot of Corruptors, and they really have shown their worth. As they took a lot of attention away, and it's letting the Hydras now maybe even realistically chase these Tempests. You have Templar that are going to come through and storm the Hydras, and that's the issue for the Hydras in general here. And once the Tempests are in this position, then you need Corruptors to be able to fight them as well. So Tempests do pull back to a position where they can just take full advantage of their range. And Classic actually gets a little moment to regroup. He's even going to start adding a couple of carriers on. Rogue will rebuild the Corruptors here. I mean, he has to. At the end of the day, like, Hydras can deal with Tempests in very niche scenarios. This is not one of those scenarios right now, as the realistic situation, though. Like stepping through, Nexus and a pylon going down on the gold that is blocked by a tower. Interesting choices. As we just take a couple of moments to figure that out. There's a cooling tower there that if you kill, I'm pretty sure destroys the tower, then you can kill the rocks. So I'm not sure what Classic's thought process is on taking the gold base without removing the tower. That's definitely one approach you can make. Not the expected approach, but it is an approach. So let's see, we'll go for the bottom left base. Don't think we're going to see Rogue keeping that one alive. What we might see Rogue doing, though, is keeping himself in the game with, some Lurker run-bys and aggression, a few probes going down. Rogue is still very much so maxed out. My concern was a little bit about the tech of Rogue, but he is going to start adding on Vipers, and he's going to start making the adjustments that were not really there back in that second game against Horsem, which obviously he won out anyway, but there's definitely a few things you can bring up in that game, and I think one of them really was just the fact that Rogue was in that kind of position where it was kind of all or nothing on that army. But here he's starting to add Vipers, he's getting a little bit more of the, later game tech brought into play, the spellcasters especially, ready to participate in these fights, and I think that is going to go a long, long way to helping us out here. As the army continues to settle down on the bottom side, we get ourselves a few additional cannons and a battery on the way up. Carriers still building through, a couple High Templars added on, plus 2 air weapons will build also as the Spines and the Corruptors will continue through at the moment as well. Everything looking pretty. Things will run up. I'm just going to see a couple of those Zealots. They get taken down immediately. It's going to be a nice catch. We clean that up. Still going to have our upgrades continue through as well. The Archons, and so going to be sitting strong as we take a couple of moments. The army pulling back around the left-hand side. Hydroling will take some chances. Pick away at the rocks there. The base in that bottom left going down as well. The Corruptors trying to chase the War Prism down. I think Hydra will make some attempts, as we do have this main Protoss army has been the problem. We are going to start seeing Our players stepping into the center. The Knives Network is going to be in trouble, but the main portion of this is going to be about the Corruptors flying through, parasitic bombs going off. Classic doesn't really have the time to kind of split away. That said, Rogue doesn't really either, and the Corruptors are melting to those Archons. There's a lot of air units left with no Corruptors remaining. I'm not sure those Lurkers are going to be able to carry through. The Archons are just so solid on the ground. I think it's fair to say that this is it's going to be GG's. Classic going to take the 2-0. GG's. Can I just ask, what are we doing, guys? Does nobody understand how this tower works? I'm not the one that's mistaken, right? If you kill this tower, it kills the watchtower with the rocks that spawn, and then you kill the rocks and you actually can take the gold. It takes a long time to kill the rock strides. Okay, great. So instead we're going to just have an ineffective gold base for the entire game? Sounds like an even worse idea, no? Holy goodness, by the way, we have a result. herO has beaten Let Alex 2-1, but Percival has beaten Shin 2-1, so Percival gets to the round of 8. Will fight herO. Wow. So Shin does not make it 3 Zergs in the round of 8, which I think would have been the expectation coming into this bracket. So Shin will fall back. We said we might have casted that one, we didn't. That looks as though that was actually a banger in the end. Bjorn and Stola are currently 17 minutes in game as well. I'm just going to do a quick check through some of the streams and see where everyone is at. So herO is leading 1 against Percival on Roddy's stream. The French stream has that as well. Indy is in game on Solar Bjorn, which is 1-0 for Solar, looking good for probably a 2-0 there. I think we're in a position where we're probably just going to be waiting for the semi-finals to be ready, to be honest. Alright, let's run some ads, as we'll take a few moments, because I'm not sure what we're going to do just yet. I'm not sure what our plan is. What is our plan? I mean, Classic's obviously through. Let's have a look at the bracket on screen together, I suppose. There's probably one thing we can get done. So we'll have a quick peek. So MaxPax and Creator are playing in the upper bracket round of 8. Well, I say upper bracket, in the top half of the bracket on the top match. In the round of 8. Then Beyond against Solar. That's looking very good for Solar. So looking as though we'll have some Zerg representation in the top 4. And then we're going to have herO Percival is currently 1-0 to herO. That would set up a PvP against Classic. But what we really need is just any of these matches to turn into a semi-final. Semi-final we're definitely going to cast. If we do not get a semi-final soon, we might jump in-game with something else. I'm kind of watching the main organizer stream though, because I'm kind of thinking we kind of just want to stick with them because we don't want to miss a semi-final. So I don't want to jump into a game and they don't, only for us to then miss them starting a semi-final that's ready to go, you know. Now herO Percival just started game 2, so that one might be a while. So it really comes down to what MaxPax and Creator are up to. I don't think we really have a good answer on where Creator and MaxPax are at all. I don't see any stream that covers them at the moment. So if we don't have anything there... Oh, maybe the Ducklings? Nope, they've just had the Solar Beyond series wrap up 2-0 to Solar. So that is Solar advancing on that one. That's a herO Percival stream as well. Yeah, I think we're probably going to be sat waiting for... We need MaxPax Creator or herO versus Percival to finish as the TLDR. Beautiful. Beautiful. Alright, guys, we will take our couple moments of waiting and just wait to see what happens. I mean, maybe we could hop to the NA server and just see if MaxPax and Creator, how long they've been in game for, maybe even. Could be some info we could work with. We can peek over there. Obviously, not sure which of the semi-finals we'll be aiming to get to first. That probably just, I think it's literally just going to depend on who finishes first. It's very likely that we don't have anything else coming about. MaxPax and Creator are in-game for 4 minutes, so 4 minutes in-game for them. I'm pretty sure we still cast both semi-finals in this event as well, right? Yeah, must wait for admin to start. Yeah, it's really a toss-up. It could be... It's going to be a toss-up. I think either of these matches could be ready to begin very soon, so... It's just whoever comes out. I mean, we could maybe keep an eye on the... Tell you what, let's load up that Twitch stream. Oh, never mind. herO's already beaten Percival. I was about to say, let's watch herO Percival for someone else's stream. But we can actually just go in-game on herO versus Classic, I think, is going to be coming up very soon then, so... We'll get that herO Classic series ready, and some PvP will be on our way for semi-final number 1 in the LIULI Cup weekly number 6. Unfortunately, guys, I'm not going to be here next week to cover this event as well. Me and Helen are going away for a little mini honeymoon on Wednesday next week, so I'll not be here for the Cup next week. But I should be back for all of the LIU Cups for the rest of this year after next week. So this will become a regular on the Wardy stream schedule. It's been obviously a crazy couple of weeks with stuff going on and all the rest of it. So just a little FYI for you guys. Like I say, we'll wait for Classic herO to host up some PvP for us here. We'll get this ready to go in a few moments. herO and Classic may start. Perfect. Yeah, announcement is given. Oh, 2 semis will play at the same time. Oh. Oh, in that case, maybe we were right. In that case, we probably just wait for MaxPax or Creator to finish and go versus Solo. I guess. Oh, this is going to be a fast day. It's going to be a fast day. I mean, what do you guys want? herO Classic PvP, or do you want to wait for Solo versus Creator or MaxPax? I think we wait for ZVP no matter what. I know we've done ZVP all day, but I think that just makes sense. And we just hope the PvP between herO and MaxPax and Creator is not going to take too long. I think that's the best approach we take then. I wonder if the Chinese stream was just like, we don't want to cast PvP, you guys can start. Alright, we'll wait for Creator MaxPax to come out of game. It could be that if they're only in game 1, or if they're in game 2 and they need to game 3, we could still get into the end of Creator MaxPax as well. So we're just waiting for them to finish up their current game, and then we'll jump into that semi-final. That is my plan. Hopefully you guys are good with it. Lovely. Lovely. How's everyone doing in the chats? Hope everyone's doing great. Happy Wednesday to you all. What did we used to have on Wednesdays? I used to feel like Wednesday was a really consistent... Was it Kung Fu Cup on Wednesdays? I think so. We used to have Kung Fu Cup on Wednesdays. Yeah, Kung Fu Cup Wednesdays used to be a day of the week that we were just streaming every single day of. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. This is when Maxbox can create play some epic, like 25-30 minute PvP game. It takes us forever to get going. Ay, ay, ay. Hopefully, not too long, guys. We can get this underway, but we are just at the whim of the players in their current games. So, just like I say, wait up a little bit. But we do know it's going to be ZVP at the very least. We do know no matter what, it'll be Zerg vs Protoss coming through. Very exciting. Very exciting. Oh, Gray just came out of game. Maxfax out of game. Why are they going to have a result or another map in the next couple of moments? Let's see what updates. Right into the replay. Looks like Maxfax might have taken the win. Yes, it has. Maxfax Solar going to be coming up then. Perfect. So they didn't take too long. Was it a 2-0? It was a 2-1. Maxfax was in game 3 with Creator there, so Maxfax still having that little bit of a PvP problem where it's just not as clean or easy for him as it used to be. So we're going to get Maxfax versus Solar, Protoss versus Zerg in the semi-finals. It's very likely, obviously, if Maxfax wins, that we get a PvP final, so that's why I did prefer this semi-final no matter what, even if it meant we had to wait a little bit for it. I don't really mind the downtime if it means we can just get to action. Alright, we'll take a couple moments, guys. Just waiting for Solar to hop on over to NA and then some videos and stuff. Couple minutes. Hopefully get back on track. So that's still not an NA, but we'll just wait. Hopefully he doesn't know that they can begin. And yeah, we'll head into EVZ hopefully fairly soon. Hopefully very soon. Cool. Like I said, just a little bit of downtime, guys. I'm gonna throw a step break screen. Chat's kind of quiet. I'll just take a quick BLB, take a second to rest the voice instead of trying to make words that have no meaning. And we'll just wait, just because it might be a couple, because we're still waiting for Solar to hop service, then we still have to veto at the very least as well. So we'll be back in a couple minutes, back on track for this Solar Max Pack semi-final. Alright, guys. Turns out no one told Solar that he could begin, so... so yeah, we're gonna get Solar and Max Packs underway here in a second, so videos are starting, I'll be with you guys in just 1 minute. Alright guys, so Solo showed up because he now got told that he could play, but now Maxpax is AFK, so in typical fashion, us going for the other match has backfired. Who would have guessed? Who would have guessed? Cool, so it'll take a couple moments to get back on track in just a few, hopefully. Just messing with something for a second, guys. I forgot I had this other transition. It's changing way too soon though. It's kind of slow, isn't it? Yes. I was just messing around with some transitions the other day, and I found this one. I was like, I want to try it again. It's the original transition we had before we had the spirally one. I kind of like it though. It's kind of cool. I don't know if it's just cool because it's like different to what we've used for like a long time now. But yeah. Anyways, we're getting ready to go in games. Let's take it into game. As we are going to have ourselves in the top right-hand corner, the Blue Zerg player here representing Falcons, of course. This is going to be Solar. It's best of 3. It's semi-finals. Solar in the top right-hand side. As in the bottom left, our red Protoss player is Maxpax. Game number 1 of this series is here for us right now. Exciting. I'm going on the TKL camera. Mix up a little bit today as we get set and ready to rumble. Excited to see what is going to happen, how it's going to go, what our plan may be. Alright guys, sorry, an important email. Having trouble getting paid from UWC. Having some back and forth. I'm gonna try and keep it moving quickly when possible, basically. Alrighty, so Sola and MaxPax getting set up here. Proby coming around. Take a few moments, getting that link speed coming up as well. A couple of queens in the drone continue to come through. Just going to see the Stargate, the Adept, and the Warp Gate continue to come up as well. So we just take a few moments. Early game PvZ. Obviously, this first Adept's going to be our first point of interest. After that, it does usually come down to the Stargate, and obviously we'll see where and how that Stargate is able to get going for us as well during this one too. Let's just see the Adept able to shade through. Obviously, we'll see if he wants to commit to that shade. Probably not. 2 Lings and the Queen nearby make that a pretty unrealistic commitment. So we will back away from that one for the moment, as the Adept is going to try and shade again. Oracle in the Warp Gate still building by. The Ling speed coming up. Again, Queen, drones, Lings, all building through for the moment as we continue to fight on by. Still got the Lings speed coming about. Queen, Hatchery, Oracle, the Warp Gate, a bit of everything coming through for the moment. So again, we just try and continue to get that underway. Queen's in position, Oracle gets deflected too. Good defense early from Sola. One of the players who sometimes does succumb to this early kind of pressure off the Oracles and the Adepts, but able to defend well enough so far. Never jammed a couple drones and the Queen still building by. Just gonna see the Oracle activating drone. Just gonna be coming up as well. As we have the Queen in a good position again, pushing that Oracle away. Twilight Council, Gateway, Nexus, all coming up. And I'm gonna see the melee upgrade as the choice here from Sola. So he is gonna try and play the Ling heavy style to start us off. This is West server, so it is Sola's server preference to begin with on this series as well. Worth mentioning, perhaps. Just seeing the Forge and the couple of extra gates at that blink on as well. All of that coming through currently. Again, the melee upgrade already starting up on the side of Solar as the couple of units are going to be there, pushing the Lings back away to the center of the map. Also, the Oracles get recalled back and take an energy recharge to get themselves set to go. They're kind of beaten up. Not going to be easy to get them back in play aggressively, and so far in this game, only 4 drones went down. I'd say Solar's going to be pretty happy about that. It seems like a pretty reasonable amount of losses for him up until this point, so not too bad in that regard. A couple of those Lings going to nibble at the rocks again. Another Revelation coming into play. Stalks and the Queens will go back and forth. We do see a little cheeky stasis coming down as well. And the Oracles give the Stalkers somewhere to back up to. No blink just yet. That one Ling would love to set off that stasis. Great idea from Sola, but it was denied. So if you can set off that stasis, then brilliant. Just going to be seeing a few Stalkers going after the Overlord, a few Lings. You want to be there as well. Queen's going to try and fly. A little transfusion going back and forth. And Stasis will land onto a few of those Lings. Hydroden about to finish up. The Lings all building through. Melee upgrade. Still building. As again, the Hydroden is about to complete. So that gives us the idea of where Sola's going to go to. Goes missiles as well. It's going to power up those Hydras greatly. ASAP. Couple archives and the extra gates going through. The Ling's going to try and charge forward in toward the Stalkers, and they will be again just push back for a moment or two. Attack, charge, and more. Building as the Temple Archives halfway done. The Robo Facility still producing. I think it's doing a good enough job of holding this back for the moment. Obviously, MaxPax getting to that Temple Archives will provide him with some additional tech to work with as well here. And the few Lings. Going to be able to grab a Stalker, so just being able to nab that. Storm and Charge continue to come through. We get the Nexus coming about, the +2 attack upgrade on the way. Stalker's going to be again back onto those Zerglings for a couple of moments already. So some damage dealt. +1 missiles, Baneling speed, muscular augments, a little bit of everything continue to come through for the moment. A lot of Lings around that right-hand side, positioning themselves at the moment as well. Still waiting on that Bane speed to come through. Is all going to be there. A single Zergling taking damage. Let's see the Lings. Still got a little wrap around, take the Zealot out. Still got the Nexus and the +2 attack continue to come over. So it does a lot of the time like the aggressive kind of setups and kind of pushes, but I think it's fair to say right now he's not really being too aggressive at all. Still just going to see Stalkers and High Templars still gathering up together. The couple Oracles sitting overhead. There's a whole chunk of Zerglings that get added on. Ling Bane +2 melee being brought up as well. Ooh, nice Bane's going to crash through. A couple of the probes going down. Hydras will step up. The Archon will be in a little bit of trouble, so this Solo's starting to get aggressive. Extra Banes coming through, man. So many Storms used by MaxPax. There's a lot of Banes still available. Wow, he still found an extra Storm at the end there. That's incredible. Solo was so patient with the Banelings, he finally brings them through. His Zealot showing up. Would it be nice if the Banes turned onto those, perhaps? The Banes going up the ramp and hitting the Stalkers is maybe not ideal. It's going to be seeing the Hydras continue to go into work. The Archon just having to step back as well. Pylon going to be the target here. Does stop the warping, gets rid of that Archon. Does Solo have enough? Doubling the army supply currently. That's a massive storm on the Hydras that are already bleeding right now. Some additional Lings end up running through toward that mineral line. Probe still dropping down. Extra Hydra showing up again. Another nice storm toward those Hydralisks. Stalkers gather. We'll see the couple of Zealots going to get turned around once more. A lot of Lings, a couple of Hydras, the +2 melee upgrade. Bit of everything building through for the moment as the Archon and the Zealots will get in after the Zerglings again. Game will settle, but only because Solo's rebuilding for another round. I mean, the army supply difference is only 20 in the lead for Solo. I think MaxPax has kind of made the defense here. That said, there's not a lot of Zealots in the front. There's still a few Banes available for these few Zealots that just walked in. That's important. Get rid of the Zealots quickly really gives the Hydras their best chance of working through all the other important units that you really want to be killing. Another couple of Zealots. Only a couple at a time right now from MaxPax is maybe a problem. That Archon super low goes down. The Ling's going to flood forward as well. And with no Archon up, there's no splash against the Lings. Zealots on the other side are going to be shredding drones, however. And that means that Solo is really in need of making sure that the damage hits and hits hard over here. Stalkers and the Zealot coming through, and the cleanup is made. MaxPax down 24 army supply. Solo's going to keep going, but his reinforcements will be weaker with those units that have been lost now, so that will be a factor as well. Hydra stepping through, a couple of Zealots going down once more. Eight probes already dropping off, going to see the Lings continuing to run by. Heading up towards that top side, a couple of Banes are going to step through as well. I mean, 16 probes, and the Nexus going down does make a big hindrance to, MaxPax's rebuild and continuation. What is good for MaxPax is if you can keep some of the tech units alive and keep those up throughout the fight, then you're going to have more of them to fight in the next engagement, and that really can make a big difference as well. If you actually get to that sort of a stage, that could be a really big factor. Bane Hydra all coming through. Let's see the Archon and the High Templar coming up. Solar is still about 25 army supply ahead. He's been kind of in that sort of ballpark for a while. MaxPax expanding bottom side. A few Lings denying that would be great, and I think that's what Solar has got in position. They're going to see it and they're going to back away. I think that third base is a bit too defended to really jump into there, right? So back away from that one as well. Just full swing around to get rid of the fourth base. Makes a lot of sense. Right now, his idea is to maintain this position where MaxPax is kind of stuck on 3 bases. And if he can do that, then he'll be very happy forward. Just a couple of Banes stepping through, the couple of Archons maybe in some trouble. High Templars are there. It's a lot of probes going down in the third, so the repositioning has actually caused MaxPax to end up out of position. But the Storm was finally dropping one down. We got High Templars with energy to spare for sure. But we just lost all of the eco, so MaxPax's continued rebuilds are going to be a struggle, man. These Storms have been great. Finally one Storm that doesn't hit as well. Army supplies will even out. So we'll just need to keep on building with the 40 worker lead now. Surely he should be able to get to a point where he overwhelms this. Just needs a little bit more time setting up, a little bit more kind of unit production to come into play. We should be able to get into a full send situation. Immortal and additional Zealots continue to build as well there. Just gatherings, a lot of Archon joining up, just so you see the few Banelings morphing in. So Archon pushing forward, a couple of Creep Teamers going down immediately. A couple of Banelings going to connect in on some of the Zealots as well. Big push here from MaxPax, looking to capitalize before the economy difference really settles in too heavily. We have got Storms available. The Hydras are getting hit hard. Can Solar provide enough units here to keep himself going? The extra Zealots starting to slip through, and the Banes have already been used. We're going to pull drones as Solar knows he's done a lot of work. He just needs to defend, and the drone pull is spot on just to give that little bit of extra emphasis. GG gets called, and Solar can take the opening game off MaxPax. He forced him to essentially be all in there, and that all in is going to settle down into a 1-0 lead. herO 2-1 Classic, by the way. So they played a full best of 3 while we waited for a game in the and everything else came around. So that was a thing apparently. We'll get ourselves into game number 2 of the series in a second. Just waiting for them to host up. We can hopefully go. Beautiful. Is that a 2v2 tournament after this? No. Tomorrow we'll have 3v3, and then on Friday we'll have 4v4. For the Team Liquid Map Contest Team Edition. Today it's just a 1v1, and then there'll be more 2v2, specifically 2v2 on Sunday. Alright, countdown to torches. Alright, let's hop in. So leading 1-0 in this BO3 semi-final. As we have on the top right side, the blue Zerg looking for a Game 2 victory. Would be huge for him. Get into that finals would be nice. It is Solar. As on the bottom right side, MaxPax. And here on torches, fun map, funky map. Interested to see what that could potentially mean for us as we get this going. Build base on the right side, no surprises there. We've already seen this once today between Rogue and Harstem, and this really is just the normal way for Zergs to set up here on torches. There really is no questions to really be asked just yet. Just going as expected. Probe stepping through, gateway out the way up. And the probe is going to confirm this is indeed a gold base. Nexus and Cybercore coming in. Similar coming up. Spawning pool coming through. Take a few moments to get settled down. But looking very reasonable so far. Again, gold mineral line. Gonna get to mining there. Nexus in the Cybercore, building across the pylon coming over. Just gonna get that Cybercore finished, and a few drones gonna start getting sent to mine out some of the gold minerals. It's a good timing to do this because it's before the Adept can be here, so it's going to open this up before the Adept can guard that location. So, yeah, I like that. It's going to leave the left side very barren. Things are starting. Stargate coming up. Expecting MaxPax to just go Oracle, 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 Oracle. He might just keep building Oracles if he feels the need for it. The Adept does not get rid of that drone in time. He will kill 2 drones, which is costly, but it's obviously part of the plan. It's now going to be an Adept pylon wall. Probe going to try and help out with that as well, but another drone coming in, and now the Adept has to decide what is it going to attack. By mining out those minerals, you open up a little bit more surface area. Queen as well. Adept shades back just in time, keeping itself alive. Double wall off here currently. I mean, you can see Solo doesn't want to go after the he doesn't want to go after the pylon. He'd rather just mine out this gap, but we do lose the drone there. So we'll have to go for it again. Link speed still coming up. He loses the drone again because 2 Adepts are enough to one-shot. This is now 5 drones, 6 drones lost in attempting to open the wall. My goodness, the Lings are going to get through. Link speed is ready in a few seconds as the Lings are looking for the surround on some of these Adepts. Some of them are very low. Battery about to come into play. We do kill 1 Adept before the battery is able to do anything. The Lings will head in toward the main base, but I'm not sure it's ever going to be enough. Oracle out and available. So many drones to opening the wall off just lost. MaxPax's prioritizing of clearing those up was a big deal. And yeah, obviously we're going to keep flooding Lings, but this was just such a slow start to this attack from Sol. I mean, to be fair, he only broke through. He still broke through before Link speed. It's just the fact it cost him so many drones. That's economy difference that makes a big, a big change in these sort of scenarios. Lings will get rid of that battery. We will see the Queen trying to fight the Oracle, but it's not going to be good enough. Battery was good for that Oracle. And yeah, this one is just looking held. MaxPax with a convincing defense here on torches, as Solar was obviously very committed to this idea and just could not make it happen in the end. GG's. It's a simple game 2, and it's a tied-up semi-final between MaxPax and Solar, as MaxPax looks for finals of another weekly cup. What's up, DMadCat or DiMadCat? Thank you so much for the 34-month resub on the Prime. Love me some Wardy. Thank you so much for priming us up. If you guys are enjoying the stream today, you consider supporting us by supporting the channel in all the ways that you can. If you're on YouTube, you can like and subscribe, or you can become a YouTube member even if you're feeling super generous. If you're on the Twitch, you can obviously hit the follow button, and of course you can use your Prime subs, regular subs, and all the rest. All of it helps us to keep on casting and producing StarCraft 2 content, so if you are enjoying what you're seeing, if you're enjoying what's going on, consider supporting. Like I say, it really does make a difference. It helps us out a whole bunch. We really appreciate it. And, yeah, go check it out. Awesome. Alright, Pylon coming through as we head into game number 2 of this best of 3. Game number 3 of this best of 3. It's all tied up. And we will see whether it's going to be Solo or MaxPax to battle against herO in the finals. In the top left, our blue Zerg is going to be Solar. Up against the red Protoss in the bottom right, we're going to have MaxPax. Don't forget about the sellout button. Maybe we can hit the sellout button a bit further down the line. You know what? I have not done a full sellout myself for a little while, so I don't feel the need to resort to the sellout button just yet. Not just yet. Game 3 of our series, the LIULI Cup Weekly. Coming around, probe moving through, gonna drop the spawning pool down into place, hatch gassing pool coming up, add the drone on. Just take a few moments here for the moment. Probe going about, just being a little bit of an annoyance. Again, hatch gas and pool coming up, Cybercore and the Nexus all building. We have a few minutes of, again, just early game PvZ. Back to that game 1 where not much happens until, you start seeing some of the tech and the adept showing up, unlike on Torches, where the gold base immediately gives us things to shout about and, reasons to be excited and, stuff to prophesize about perhaps as well, even. Again, a couple of queens coming up, Overlord on the way. Things building, Cybercore and Access building. All of that coming through. Max would thought this wouldn't be a PvZ without Protoss winning. Ay. Adept just gonna go shading. We do have our link speed coming up. Again, Stargate, the Adept, and the Warp Gate all coming through. Add a couple probes on as well. As the link is gonna go nibble at some rocks. Depthful Shade, Lings and the Queen moving about. Take a couple of moments. Let's move down to the low ground. Couple Lings going to be there. Queen's going to be there too. And Depths will get pushed back. So far defending rather decently. 5 Lings. Better than losing any drones. You can see the Oracle is going to fire. The drone's going down, so finally MaxPack's able to get some of that economic damage here in these early stages. Then the Nexus, the Forge, and the Twilight coming through. Alley upgrade coming about. Take a couple moments here. The Gates, the Forge, and the Twilight. All building by for the moment. And set up just for now. The Depth's coming through for even more drones. It does get worrying, right? You start taking this much damage early as Solar and you wonder where the game is going to kind of catch up to him. It almost always feels like in these scenarios there's going to be a point at which the, harassment like this is just going to add up and then you just get overwhelmed by that Protoss army, maybe just with Blinken +1. That's 6 extra drones going down. That's now 11 in the game, making 11 Lings as well. And the Oracle is back for even more damage. MaxPack's just rotating in all the positions and finding so much value early. This first blink and +1 opening is going to be very annoying for Solo to deal with already, just because his opponent has done so much damage right off the bat. And +1 and Blink still coming through. Just have the gates and the assimilators continue to come about. Hydra Den, Baneley Nest continue to build through. The melee upgrade coming up as well. Five drones going down. Oracle going to be right there. Just have the Lings and the drones gathering up. Storm, the +1, the Blink, all building through. And the Stalkers are going to go and knock their way through this hatchery. Like I say, this is just looking troublesome for Solar. This is a game that's going to be won on the harassment. Going to be seeing the Stalkers still fine. The Lings and the Queens trading. Lings coming in from that bottom side and they blink across. Try and deal with this. And got that Storm finishing soon, so MaxPack's still heading in all the right directions. Solo just trying to regroup after the damage is done. Things get there, battery going down, +2 attack and the charge still building. We just have the cannons. And batteries building as well, so just bringing up as much as we can at the moment. Stalker's going to shoot a couple of Lings going down, damage being done. This is rough, man. Lings running in from every side, being picked away at as well. Solo trying to get up to Ling Hydra. But he's building Ling Hydra into the storms that are already available in high numbers. It's a bunch of High Templar that are sat there chilling and absolutely ready to kind of greet this. MaxPack might not push through right now, but he's just reinforcing off this base. It's a very slow, very short brush distance for him to move up that right-hand side. Another couple storms coming down. The Hydra's going to get hit. Another storm coming into play as well, so a few more shots coming down once more. Another storm coming through, shots coming in. Just got the Lings and the Hydras continue to come through. A couple of Zealots going down as well. Stasis Ward does catch the Hydras and the Queens. +2 attack, the Immortal coming up, the Ling Hydra coming over. We'll see a couple more storms still dropping down. The Stalkers and the Archon still continue to push in here. Zealots are going to chase. A couple of Queens going to be taking some damage. Queens trying their best to push back over to the other side again. This time the Stasis catching a few more Lings. High Templars and Zealots still building, +2 about to complete. Solo making a good effort of defending. My concern is 77 drones, less workers than MaxPack by 1, but just Ling Bane Hydra on repeat being built to try and defend, and I think over time the efficiency should just keep on being in MaxPack's favor. And unless Solo can do this, which is step forward and actually deal some damage himself, I'm not sure it's going to be okay for him to kind of be trading worse off, right? But this is actually going to be a good position suddenly for Solo. Bane chase that army up the high ground, the 4th base begins to go down. This starts to look a lot like game 1. In the sense that we're taking down the 4th, and that maybe opens this game up, as we are not going to hold the low ground as MaxPack. He starts to send Zealots across the map too. The big difference is going to be that MaxPack has a lot more workers remaining still at this current point of time. Zealots are going to come through. The Hydras are going to be in position, able to hold out for a little bit. Again, Archon coming about, the High Templar coming over. Gonna see the few additional banelings morphing in right now as we have 21 banelings coming up and online. A lot of Ling Hydra down through the center. Nexus and the cannon coming up as well. Hydra Bane splits in a couple different directions. We will see the Immortal. We'll see the +3 attack upgrade going through. A couple of the Zealots coming by as well. A couple of Banelings connect in. Additional Lings in production. Bane's over on the right-hand side. Going to get through and get rid of a Zealot also. Extra Bane's morphing up. Solar's almost maxed out, man. This Ling Bane Hydra stuff has been working for him. Oh, and the Oracles both go down. A last-second revelation to say goodbye from that Oracle. Its final farewell. Man, this game felt so decent for MaxPax at first, and obviously just slipping away from him a little bit. Solar is looking good, man. Denies this attack as well. Able to hold on to that base on the right side with that rich Vespene as well. So has a lot of gas coming in from there. There we go. That's a massive Ling Bane Hydra. We're maxed out pretty much. Obviously, storms are an issue. And you are kind of forced up some ramps here to really take this fight. You just find a few Banelings into the army, but that's what MaxPax is very good at doing, making sure that that connection is not going to happen. We do get into a little bit of the concave here already. There's obviously a very obvious location for some of those storms, but now still going to go around the right side as well. Does he have enough units surviving on the left while he sets up over on the right to try and deal with this, man? There are so many High Templar. But we need to land some storms right now. The Banes are trying to come through. The Banes connect on the High Templar. We lose a bunch of them. 1 low HP does remain. That may go down to the Hydra shot. It does. We are going to lose this base top right from Solar, but he does have a left side base as well. Now, MaxPax keeps a hold of his 4th base. It's mostly probes that he loses, but obviously losing all the High Templar is a big issue because that is a massive amount of your tech that disappears. Oh my god, that stasis. Saving so many Banelings from crashing into that mineral line. That could have made the difference in terms of damage done here, right? As these Hydras are going to show up to try and free these Banelings, and the Banelings decide what they want to do. A little bit of indecision. They go off on the structures in the end, but we are going to make a play to try and grab this army. The storm lands on these Protoss units. Obviously, you're trying to free yourself from the Zerglings, but man, that was just damage onto your own forces, really. And now this right side base in trouble, so the left base may live, but the right base will be threatened. Hydra still chasing through. Damage looking to be done. +2 attack upgrade. Sorry, +3 attack upgrade about to finish from MaxPax. It's +2 missiles. It's only halfway done from Solar. He will take a second. He will stop and kill this Nexus. Intercepts these Zealots. No love there. And MaxPax is not able to find a way through on this damage. And we are absolutely getting this done as Solar. He is making it work and looking for a matchup against herO in today's finals. A matchup he won at EWC. But the last time I cast them was a herO 3-0. So, seeing what happens as the Hydras continue through. A couple Queens gathering up. Looking for some damage as well. +2 missiles. Ling Bane Hydra all building. And again, a few more Banes just going to morph up right there. Zergling's coming through as well. Just the Hydra's coming back around. Another Storm coming in. Hydra's going to take damage already. One more Storm on the Hydras again. Just going to be seeing this army still spreading out. And Prism in the main base tonight too. Less and less options on the map for MaxPax as he will try and storm his way to victory on this defense, but I just don't think there's going to be enough. The Bane's getting through. They don't even really necessarily want to hit on those units, but what else they're going to hit on? Try and run by into the mineral line perhaps could have been decent. GG. Solar takes it 2-1 over MaxPax. And this game was, I was saying it, I felt like MaxPax was bullying Solar. He was having his way with him, and he just got tripped up and couldn't keep it going towards the end. Which is a little bit crazy, to be honest, but GG's, there you have it. It is going to be Solar to take this one 2-1. Beautiful. Alright, that means we are going to have a Korean server finals, as it is going to be Solar versus herO in a best-of-5 PvZ to wrap us up today. Alright, we'll hop into the Korean server, run some ads, and we'll get ready for Solar versus herO. Perfecto, guys. Alrighty, we will take a couple of moments and we'll get ourselves into, like I say, solo hero for the finals today. Last matchup, it will be best of 5 here in the Leo Cup Weekly. We'll get that going very soon. Icon Pros never go close in this matchup. Seems like Templar don't do very much. I mean, if you don't think Templar do very much, probably aren't watching a lot of the fights. Templars are extremely good, and Templars are extremely effective right now because you can just get to them so cheaply and freely, and not freely, but like you can get to them so easily, and it really, you know, bundles up well with the rest of your army as well. Colossus have a lot more counters to them. Colossus are not as good against Roach armies. Colossus get very heavily countered by Vipers, whereas if you go High Templar, you already have the feedbacks against Vipers. You already have Stormers to protect your air transition later in the game as well. So Storm is very good in PvZ. Lobby's already coming up, guys. No time being wasted here. And we have a ZVP final. I was really expecting the PvP finals, I'm not going to lie, so excited to see what the ZVP gives us. hero's playing so well in this matchup against Sarl the other day. I was really enjoying those games. Obviously lost out, but actually came up with some really cool builds and stuff. Let's see what takes place as we step on through. Alright. We're going to head into the bottom left-hand side of the map with the red Protoss player. This is going to be herO. Taking on the blue Zerg. They were faster vetoing and getting into this one. No time being wasted. It is Stoller in the upper right side of the map as we get into game 1 of the best of 5. We get this underway. They really wasted no time video, and I was surprised how quickly the lobby came up. Shocking. Patch Overlord on the way through, adding a gateway on, and Probe coming up as well. Over to the bottom left. Gamer and the Pro going by. Natural Gas and Pool coming up. Just getting settled here for a few moments. As we get this underway. One build coming up now, a couple of dronies being added on. It's going to see the next in the cyber core building up as well, so just get that all underway here to begin with. And have we casted PvZ all day? We have, right? We've cast nothing but PvZ today. It's nice though having a Zerg in every matchup. That really doesn't happen very often. And Solo's aggressive styles work out against the typically aggressive Protoss player in herO. He's the connoisseur of aggression, so I wouldn't say anything's too quickly decided or anything here. And that link speed coming up. Hatchery on the way through. Stargate and the Adapt building as we speak. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . See the Stalker going to fight, the Ling will go down, just going to be seeing that picked up. Again, the Phoenix Adept, the Warp Gate, all continuing through for a couple of moments. Match coming up onto the third base. We're just going to have that ready. Phoenix moving through. Phoenix is going to fly across. More queen shots coming through already. Another Phoenix is going to be popping in a couple of seconds, so get that coming out. Phoenix are gathering up. Phoenix going to fly a couple of depths, stealing some damage. The Ling's doing a great job right there as well. We will just see the Nexus and the Phoenix continue to come about. Nexus building, the simulators coming through. Got the Rotor on the lair on the way up, so we bring a lot of that into play already. So Roach style here initially for solo. That's going to take him away from any of the Lingbane Hydra stuff we were seeing against Max Packs. So maybe Roaches could eventually turn into Lurkers, perhaps eventually. He is up against the Phoenix here, which are going to come through and be an annoyance. Obviously, this is a kind of a change up on the side from herO. And this is really a throwback, but back in the day, back in my day, 5 Phoenix was like the absolute go-to in PvZ. Like, this was the absolute god tier build. Like, this is the modern day 2 or 3 Oracle opening, you know? Phoenix pushing about. A couple of queens are going to gather. We've got the lair and the drone still building. Robo facility and a couple of gateways continue to come online as well. See those Lings escaping up to the top side. The Phoenix over to the right, going to go after the Overlord and maybe after a few drones as well. Some possibilities there in terms of what they could get done. Two Workers is going down immediately, and we will see another Queen in the main base, also going to get jumped on for a couple of moments. Probably do Chrono Boost, a couple of drones getting picked up. The Spore Crawler going to relocate. Again, the Phoenix going to have to peel up to the sides, but that's fine, and they are still just having their way with the worker line so far. And yeah, just these Phoenix going to be able to control. Now, the thing with these Phoenix is that these Phoenix will obviously do a lot of damage freely, but because you're building these Phoenix, there's typically not much of a follow-up that can happen. So what the Zerg can do is overbuild drones, replace a lot of what's being lost pretty easily a lot of the time. In this case, solar supply is hurting them. So that's what I typically expect of these Phoenix openers, that Zerg can replace a lot of what's being lost because the Phoenix themselves are an investment. But I mean, Solar is genuinely down a little bit right now. Like, work count is just about staying there. His army supply catches up only because he's starting to build Roaches now. And herO starts a Colossus to start his next phase of this game, essentially. A couple of those workers getting picked up again. Phoenix still going big. Again, this is just a large investment. I think one of the reasons these Phoenix do struggle is if you hit like a very aggressive kind of Queen Walk, a lot of the aggressive stuff is really going to kill these Phoenix because you just have no damage output. Because so much of it relies on these Phoenix doing so much in the sky. And I think that's why this kind of phased out of popularity. Plus, Oracles are a lot more versatile. They're able to get sometimes just as many drones with a lot less investment on them. So you find yourself to the next phase of the game so much more quickly. And that transition able to kind of get you in the mid-game very comfortably. That's why it's so cool to see this kind of play from herO. Because like I say, to me, this is really a good old throwback. These ults in that main base get a Queen now going after Lings. Roach is showing up, and then just going to distract as we do have everything starting to push down to the bottom left-hand side of the map. Here's the thing, even if you kill the Queens here, the Phoenix are kind of dead weight because they will not kill Roach Ravager quickly at all. They're not dead weight, but they're not effective supply, right? So let's see what we can do. That Colossus has a big role to play. The Phoenix holding back for the moment. First Ravager's going down quickly. Archon holding up nicely as well. There's one Ravager going to get lifted. Like I say, the Phoenix will be able to get some kills. They're not going to be completely dead in this scenario. One Roach picked off over to the side. Also here, as we just see a Disruptor shot. Oh my god, it kind of missed that big chunk of Roaches. Went for the 2 Ravagers in the back, but it did hurt them. Corrosive Valve's coming through. Drop some transfusions on those Ravagers to bring them back up to health. That's going to have to be a split. We do eat another Disruptor shot there. The Disruptors are doing work, and that Colossus is just hanging on in there as well, as herO was preempting this kind of an attack to try and punish what he was doing. And it does look as though his defense so far has been pretty darn good. Another Corrosive Valve coming down, just missing on a couple of those Zealots. Phoenix will go after the Ravager, able to knock that down as well. A couple more shots still coming up just for a few moments. And again, 11 Roaches still building. Stargate's on the way, Flea Beacon on the way. Roach Queen continuing through as we continue to shove on up. Phoenix will lift, the Ravager will go down. And another warp in from the Prism is obviously at this point herO's just chasing back across the map. Phoenix even allowing him to chase aggressively as well, having a lot of success with that for the moment. It's just looking better and better and better, realistically. Roach Ravager comes back through. Another Disruptor shot lands just on a Roach, just on a Ravager. Disruptor's being knocked down as well. Colossus will really be chased all the way, man. Hunted all the way down for now, huh? Roach Ravager pulls back through the center. Settle for the chance to maybe get aggressive. I mean, Solar's supply is still good, but it's obviously Roach Ravager against someone who is building carriers. Are the carriers a step too far? I don't think so, honestly. I think it's fine for herO because you've seen how comfortably he's looked in the fights up until now. Maybe the investment in those carriers does change that. Maybe that does kind of create a weakness here. We're about to find out. If these carriers get up, there's zero way of killing them. So they're just going to be free damage output because even Queens coming across the map at this point ain't going to solve that problem. I mean, Solar basically has this attack to win the game with. He gets rid of a lot of the units. He's going to get rid of the Disruptors. The Colossus finally going to go down. Like, he's breaking through. Okay, so how much damage does he do during this is going to be the big old question, because he needs to do serious amounts so that he can rebuild into something that then kills carriers and then push again. It is working. He's hitting the moment before the carriers are out. The carry investment may very well just be too much from herO. He was doing fine with the composition he was at. Solar was not showing any signs of teching. There was no reason for herO to go toward carriers, and like I say, I think maybe he just felt as though, well, why not? It's going so well for me. But this is exactly why not. It was going well because he was matching the unit production very nicely. Now, 50 workers have died. Spire on the way. I like that. He was building a Hydra Den, but I think the Spire is a better choice because all he needs to do now is Roach Corruptor. You know, he doesn't actually need that much ground value anymore because he's already cleaned up a lot of the ground units. So if you just get Corruptors up, which are a way more reliable way of killing off these carriers, then he is going to have this game, and Solar is going to punch his ticket to a 1-0 lead in this best-of-5 final. Very nicely done. Like I say, just herO getting really just ahead of himself, I have to say. Carrier going, a couple of Lings taking shots, 3 Lings still up over here. 10 workers remain from herO. Solar is obviously stacking cash so you can spam up the carriers. The Corruptors, so you can deal with the carriers. That's the one thing he really needs to do, and it's exactly what he is doing. So that is looking absolutely spot on right now. GG says herO, and Solar is going to come through taking game number 1 of the best-of-5. So we get there, we get the win, and that is going to be Solar with the 1-0 lead. Beautiful stuff. All right, game 2 coming up in just a few moments. It's going to be Incorporeal. These guys are hosting fast, by the way. Such a good defense at first as well. He really just got carried away with the fact he was set up to go carriers. There was just no need, though. Just no need. 3 carriers are so expensive. And Solar really hit him where, though. Honestly, like I say, even like 30 seconds later, if the carriers are out, you start dealing with the Roach Ravager so much more quickly that you don't lose as much in the process of cleaning up, right? It's the fact those carriers are slap bang halfway through. They're not going to be out before you deal the damage. By the time they get out, it's too late. And the investment is truly made. It's not like you just cancel them and be like, oh, nope, never mind, just going to build these things instead. You're just so far committed to them, you kind of got to let them finish at that stage already. Incorporeal coming up here. Disruptor should be one-shot in Roach Ravager. I mean, I honestly like the new Disruptor. What the Roach Ravager didn't, what the Disruptors did in this scenario is they bring the Roach Ravager low, and as long as herO has units that can then follow up and then kill the Roach Ravager, then that means that the Disruptor isn't just a be-all and end-all unit, right? The Disruptor can't just fire a shot and just that's it. The Disruptor on its own defends. You need something to combine with the Disruptor, which I think is way better game design than just the, way better game design than just, you know, Disruptor bangs everything and it just kind of solos everything. And there were units there, like, the Disruptors were doing a lot. They spread a lot of damage onto that army quickly, and they really were a big reason why herO defended, so I kind of like the Disruptors not insta-killing things, personally, but it does take a little bit of the excitement away. Disruptors just going boom and killing everything was very fun before. Obviously, there was a couple transfusions that saved some of the Ravager points as well, but that was also, I think, to the fault of herO, because he actually had a couple Disruptors he sent past the main army into the backline and hit the Ravagers in the backline, which were right next to the Queens. If he just let those Disruptors hit the main army, he would have actually A, hit more, and probably B, killed a lot more because those Roaches were already low as well. So he would have just finished off a bunch at once, and then you probably killed those Ravagers in the back anyway. So, I do think, yeah, I do think, there was a couple of moments where herO actually got a little bit too greedy with what he was targeting. He was, like, trying to get fresh units, and then Solo just had the units in position to make up for that. So, yeah. Honestly, an interesting game to kind of go back on. Even then, it was still fine for herO, I think, defensively. Just maybe could have been even more one-sided. He didn't defend, though, even with his Grand Warpins? No, he did defend. He defended massively in the first wave. What he didn't defend is when he stopped building everything else to spam carriers, right? Like, Sola build only Roach Ravager, and meanwhile herO is building carriers and upgrades. Like, that's the point at which he didn't defend it. And at that point, yeah, you've built Disruptors, which are not just going to solo your defense. He didn't defend? What are you guys on about? Come on. He didn't defend, he literally chased Zola back across the map. Wants to be an annoyance, but it won't do much with a couple of lings there. And Sola pushed back? Yeah, Sola pushed back because all he did was build pure Roach Ravager, while herO stopped building units to build carriers. So the defense was great, the Disruptors did a great job, but then he tried to build tech while his opponent spammed early game units. Like, literally anything is better than the carriers there. Like, the only reason he loses is because he builds carriers and he doesn't have enough money to support with other things. Like, at that point, he could have just built Immortals to support the Disruptors and it would have been amazing too. And, I mean, in that scenario, you could argue that the Disruptors are not useful because you're not building new units to support them, right? You're not building anything that gets the bit of damage to finish things off. But that's herO's choice, and that's herO's fault. Like, the Disruptors weren't useless. The Disruptors still did a bunch of damage, because herO didn't do anything to help himself out in terms of having units there to follow up, right? It's kind of the problem. Like, even if you just warp in Stalkers and you have the Stalkers shooting, so the Disruptors actually deal damage and then you finish them off with the Stalkers, but he didn't. He built 3 carriers, which is just such a ridiculous investment. Which he obviously felt like he was going to get away with anyway, which I actually thought as well he was going to get away with it at first. there was a really tight timing still, because honestly, even if those carriers come out, if the carriers are there, they alone will also do the same thing and aid the disruptors in cleaning up. Is it such a bad thing that disruptors can't defend on their own? There are very few units that are on their own in StarCraft 2 able to make a defense, right? Like, if you think about it across all the races, like, tanks can defend positions really well, but on their own, they can get jumped on and taken out. You know? You can say the same about lurkers, right? They can defend extremely effectively, but if they're on their own and exposed, they can get taken out, and the disruptor's the same. Before, the disruptor could just solo everything and actually be a defense and hold you in a game when there's nothing else available. And now you just need to actually have some units to combine with the disruptor. I still think it's better, because I honestly think the promotion of making units interact and needing more than just one thing to pull off a defense or to make the game work is, in general, better game design. But like I said, I mean, that's not necessarily something to agree on. But I think it's hard. I can't agree with the fact that he didn't defend initially, because he defended so well initially that he was able to push Solar all the way across the map again. The only reason Solar is able to push back is because he's literally all in on tier 1.5 units, while herO then decides to tech to tier 3. Anyways, let's talk about this one a bit. It's fun to discuss. The beauty of StarCraft is that we can obviously have these discussions, and everyone feels a bit different and stuff as well. A couple of oracles just going to activate. Those queens are going to go down. We're going to see one oracle going down already. Just going to see the yeah, I mean, the oracle's going down. We would get ourselves a couple of queens. 24 lings died this game as they cleaned up the adepts while I was yapping on about the previous game as well. Zerglin's going to move across. The oracles will be there. Let's have ourselves another charge and a +1 upgrade coming through as well. Lings will be right there. And the Hydra is just going to come online. We're just going to be seeing the hatch coming up. Lings and queens on the way through. Obviously, this time the Hydra Den coming up, and the Hydraling Bane definitely on the board as something we could potentially move into and play with here. There's the Temple Archives, the Gateways, the +1 attack upgrade, all building through. Few Zealots get into the center. Queen's is going to be there, and the Oracles get pushed back around that right side. Temple Archives and the Gates come over. Sit, waiting for whatever the next step of this will be. +1 missiles, Baneling speed, got the Guru Spines are going. I mean, the question really is Solar going to attack? And if Solar attacks, how effective is that going to be? This is what he found success with against MaxPax. Can he find the same success against herO? Or does he play a bit differently already? Oracle's still flying through. Gonna see the Queen gonna be right there. The Oracles will activate. Queen will go down. So just gonna see that picked off already. I'm gonna push forward, obviously trying not to give Solar the chance to kind of set up fully into the Lingbane High just yet. I mean, we're going to run out of Zealots here in a second, and then you really are going to expose your tech units. The Immortal in the back goes down. Archon's nice to keep alive because they're going to be able to deal with the Ling Flood that typically follows as reinforcements. There is actually more Hydras on the way from Solar. Can he get enough up to deal with these Zealots? Especially because right now new Banelings are not ready just yet, so there since the Zealots in on their own though and doesn't bring everything else at the same time just yet, so no love there for the moment. Storm +2, continue to come about. And +1 missiles on the way over. Getting settled in. Archon Immortal +2, a bit of everything coming on right now. More Hydras building through there. We do have the army pushing again, but this is going to give an opportunity for, I want to say a surround, but actually it's just going to be trying to trap herO into that top right side. It's always a bit of a bait on Incorporeal, that upper right base. if you get in there, you're kind of stuck in there, but it doesn't matter because herO's numbers are too good. The previous fight was already very effective, and herO is going to get the tying game to tie up this series, and we're going to go 1-1 in the best of 5. Very comfortable game number 2 there from herO, as that timing window was really nice. Like I say, he really got a lot done as Solo was readying to be at higher strength. Jumping into the lobby here to make this a game 3. It's going to be Tokamak, our third map of the BO5 final. Like I say, it's all tied up with 1-1 scorelines across the board now. Very, very exciting. Seen Solo play Hydras as wild? Yeah. Solo loves Hydras, man. He loves Hydras in ZVP. Like a lot of the Lingbane Hydra stuff lately, Ling Hydra attacks. Anything that lets him be a little bit more aggressive in general is something that he's generally a pretty decent fan of, so I don't think it's super crazy. I think it's quite fun to see though as well at the same time, so I like it. Tokamak coming through. Next couple of moments, get this set up and working. So countdown into the game. In the top right hand side, we're going to see our red pros player. This is herO. Taking on the blue Zerg in the bottom left corner. It is going to be Solar. Game 3 deciding map to see who gets to go up onto match point. Can Solo retake the lead? Will herO take the lead for the first time? And what kind of style are we going to see as well? Obviously, Solo, I think, was still setting up to be kind of aggressive previously as well. I think he was still kind of setting up to be aggressive, but just herO hit him first before he was ready. So do we stick with that kind of aggressive tint in our play, or would we take another kind of approach to this? Some good questions. Match gas and pool. We'll coming across a couple drones on the way in. Gateway, probe, extractor, building for now. How come my title says $500 and Roddy says $400? Because Roddy is playing with old information, I guess. It's $500 for the Leo Cup now. The top 8 get paid out, so first place 200, second place 100, third and fourth place 50, top 8 25. So it's the usual kind of weekly cup payout, just with top 8 getting paid $25 each, which is obviously really nice. Yeah, this was a change they made a couple weeks ago, I believe. A couple of weeks back or so. Lightning speed building, the Queen's on the way. The Overlord obviously keeping an eye on things initially. Stargate just continues along for now. Again, the Adept and the Warp Gate building through. They just take a few moments. Overlord into the upper right. You're going to see that probe moving about on the ground as well. Still getting that link speed building along. And yeah, Stargate obviously going to finish. It is proxied, so it can be pretty aggressive with the oracles that pop out here. We'll hit a little bit earlier than usual and try and get some extra value off of that. Obviously, the downside of the Stargate being on the map is that eventually it'll get cleaned up, and that means you don't have the Stargate for later in the game. But you hope to make up for that from just having it, be able to do some damage early. The other downside is, of course, if you want to kind of keep using the Stargate, but it gets shut down. In certain scenarios, defensively, you might want to add on a Void Ray or add on, continue to add on oracles. That might not be easily done if you have to then defend the Stargate and that loses power, etc., 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 right? So, it's just a little something to, again, keep in our minds. So the Adept going to sit there. The couple Lings coming over. He's going to get themselves onto the Adept right away, get some damage done. poke that Adept down for a little while. And the Oracle still going to try and stay active. The Queens are still coming over. Queen drone production continues. Adept gateway, a couple of simulators all coming about. Our drones and the Queen coming online as well. Things going to turn back the other way. The Oracle will be sat there ready to activate. A couple of Lings taking some damage as drones, overlords, and Queen continues up. Add an Evo chamber to that as well. Light Forge and the Nexus all building through. Yeah, well, even just this, right? Oracle's having to activate and defend against a couple of Lings trying to hit the pylon, for example. Yeah, +1 and Blink still building by. Drones coming up with that melee upgrade. Still drones going to fight. We are going to see the drones going down. The Adept's getting busy, so already Solar's starting to leak a few workers here. And just herO initially able to get some reasonable damage so far. Oracle's going to activate. Man, that's a lot of drone damage done. Solo just letting all of this get so much done. Crazy business. And that is going to be really, really tough to recover from, I think. And Blinking +1 coming over. Melee upgrade coming about. So we've got the lab building through. Banelin S is coming up as well. So let's see, the drone's still going down, man. We're actually going to get the Queen there, man. That Queen took a lot of damage. Oracle's super low. The Queen stepped to the other Queens. If it stepped left, it might have been able to get revenge and kill that Oracle off. Not going to see the pylon then finally going to go down this time. These Oracles are drained of energy. There's no way they can defend that Stargate any longer. Storms get that. And I'm going to see the Queen taking some damage. A couple Queens taking shots. Ling's going to step through. It's going to be seeing the Storms continue to blink back for the moment. Extra Stalker's just going to warp in. We do have the +1 armor coming by. The charge is coming up as well. These Lings are still trying to chase on forward. The Queen's going to be right there. Little Stasis Ward catching a few of the Lings. This feels like such an impossible defense for Solar in a game where he's taking, what, 23 drones of losses already, 7.5 minutes in. It's going to be very difficult. Like I say, that drone loss situation for Solar is so rough, and you see herO make this happen so often. He's just so good at moving those early units around and finding openings, and that's why the other day when we were casting herO Serral, I was saying, you know, it's kind of crazy that herO can just find so little opportunity when he plays against Serral, because Serral's defense is just so tight and so solid. Really makes a bit of a crazy difference overall. Too much here from herO, as we were pretty much just mentioning. That is going to be GG's. herO takes the 2-1 lead in this best of 5 final. So herO 2, Solo 1. Can Solo bounce back, or is herO just going to run this through to the finish line? Those are kind of our questions as we get ready to party into Pylon in the next couple of moments. Got that up and rolling. Go's being called. These guys are wasting no time at all getting into action. They've been go, go, go. Since even that first videos for this series were freaking go, go, go as well, man. They have been ready to play fast all day. It's pretty crazy. To get straight to it then. We'll head ourselves into this in just a moment. Top left-hand corner, the red Protoss player here is herO. In the bottom right, the blue Zerg is Solar. Early probe coming over, looking to block the natural. It's going to get there before any drone makes it, so that is going to be an easy shutdown. Force the hatchery to the third base instead. I mean, Solar's obviously expecting to deal with this a lot of the time and knows what to do. Getting the gas, continue to come through for a moment then. Probe coming up, the drones and the hatchery on the way through as well. Continue to bring this about for the moment. Drone's just going to gather. Probe will take a couple of nibbles. Some shots coming through. Nexus and Cybercore. Bring it along. Drone nibbling, probe taking shots. Next coming up, we're just going to see the link speed coming online. Lings will nibble at the probe, pushing that around. Stargate, Adept, and the Warp Gate all building through for the moment. Just going to have the hatchery and a couple of lings coming about. The link speed coming up. Queen coming online as well. Still got the Overlord and a couple of lings. Continue to produce on through. Adept going to nibble up on the hatchery still. Just looking for a little bit more value, a little bit more damage. Chilling there for a little bit as we just have a couple of adepts go on to try and deal some damage. Here's where herO tries to start dealing all of that damage all over again, as we just saw previously. Leg step up, the adepts get pushed back, the adepts pulling back over here, drones Overlord and the Queen coming through. So let's see the Oracle and the Warp Gate building up as well. Add an adept and a couple of gates on. And a couple of drones still stepping over. There is going to be that creep tumor that starts to get cleaned up, perhaps. Wings are going to run through. The Adept's going to get caught. One Adept goes down immediately. The Oracle settling in overhead. All the spores and the drones all building online here. You just see the Ling's able to get a wrap onto the Adepts there. Just going to be getting some damage done. Queens will be chilling. Adepts will shade. Ling's going to settle down. Evolution Chamber, drone, a few extra Lings will continue to come about for the moment here. And just going to have those drones continue to gather up. Queens will settle themselves. Oracle's going to fly overhead, hitting the Queen a few times. Early activation. Wants to help the Adepts as they shade into Lings. It's going to be a cleanup then from Solo. That was a little bit overly committed from herO. Not sure what he saw there for the commitment that he tried to make in the end, but did not really go too well, to be fair. Queen's going to be there to push the Oracle back, which will drop a Stasis Ward down on the other side. And still just trying to find some extra damage, but Solo's dealing with this well, I would say, compared to the last game. I mean, it's still 23 Lings going down, but only 5 drones, and that seems so much more manageable. That feels like a much better position to play this game from. It's only just now do we start forging the Twilight on the side of herO. And Solo, it's a lot of Lings in production. Bane Nest on the way. I mean, he's still got to deal with some of these Adepts, I guess. Just wondering if there's potential for him to just keep making Lings and actually Bane Bust across the map, as, you know, towards the point melee upgrade finishes. Just a thought. I mean, I don't think it's really super likely. More likely we were just dealing with the Adepts and then going to drone behind it, but more Lings on the way. I mean, maybe if you kill all the Adepts, you feel like there really is a chance to do something like that. I mean, this is a game where there's no Twilight Council just now finished, so we're a long way from that being a factor. Yeah, it's not a pretty fight to play clean up here. Just wants to take his 4th base. Disengages, just letting those Adepts stick around. It's so annoying. Look at him, just sitting in annoying spots. Oh, Lewin just started from Solo as well. As you can see how he's been busy trying to make a couple things happen throughout this as well. Cole's going to find themselves a Queen, looking for another. Both those Queens going down immediately. The Ling is still moving through as well. Queen will continue to fight. The Oracle's going to turn back around. We will see the melee upgrade finishing soon. Still got Lings in production. Flare on the way. This Oracle's going to go chasing down a couple of those Banelings still. So just trying to find a little bit of extra value here so far. Step up, Lings get turned. That +1 blink all coming up, so again, just a lot of setting up on that for the moment. Those Oracles gather up, Queen's nearby. Ling's actually going to take the chance to jump through and jump onto these Stalkers a little bit. So they're going to take a chance to get in over there. And we will see the Adepts and the Oracles together going after the Hatchery. Ling's coming through, a couple cannons taking some shots. Hatchery will have to cancel for a couple of moments. herO's just absolutely breaking through, isn't he? Just too much damage dealt. In this case, it wasn't even the drones, it was just forcing so many Zerglings. I mean, it was to the point where he's making so many Lings, I was like, are we going to commit to a fight? And when the answer to that is no, then your economy is just not where it wants to be, right? And herO now up in Workers, up in Army, obviously following up this up into Storm as well. We're a long way off Bane speed, so any counterattack is going to take a while to hit. And Sola is going to be in trouble as herO looks to lead this game right now. Oracles just gather up. And Storm +2 attack, all building in. Trying to get set back into place. Alright, just gather up. Stalkers and the Oracles join together. Just going to see the Stalkers going after a couple of those Creep Teamers already. Storm and that +2 still coming about as well. The Hydra is going to step forward and they're going to take the chance to just try and meet something in the middle of the map, try and find a way to get something done right off the bat here. Again, from more High Templar and Zealots, all continuing online. Step over, a couple Stalkers in trouble as well. We do have the Hydras, obviously want to try and catch those. I mean, Solo's just going to send this. If there's a way for him to win, this would be it, right? Just committing to your kind of lower tier units, just build a lot of them. herO building the Fleet Beacon, right? Again, that's preparation for a state of this game that's not coming just yet. Hopefully, I think if it's just the Fleet Beacon, it's fine. If you start actually building additional units off of that, that would be extremely brutal. So, We shall see. Let's just have Hydra Bane on the high ground already getting poked out a little bit. First Storm's coming down. Don't love that Storm on the Zealots. It wasn't really kind of where the Banes were running anyway. And herO being right down on this low ground, going to give Solo probably the best fight you could find. Able to come in from all angles. It forces as many Storms as possible. And even then you can just see that these Stalkers are going to have a little bit of life left in them to chase after these Hydras. Solo will lose out on everything. And obviously, this was committed. I was going to say, we could maybe pull back and go for another wave, but Solo's got to be feeling that when your opponent jumps forward with that many units left, you're not going to have the momentum that you're looking for, the momentum that you need to really make something happen there. GG's. And that is going to be the game getting called in herO's favor, and he will take it down and take it away today. Congrats to herO, who takes down the LIULI Cup Weekly number 6. Who won this last week, actually? Because I wasn't here, so I don't actually know. Just curious. Last week it was MaxPax took down Clem in a 5-game finals. Ooh. Alright guys, that's going to be it from us today. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to head off and yeah, chill out a little bit. It's Pokemon night. Cool. Alright, thank you so much for watching, guys. There'll be a YouTube upload in a little bit as well. Who knows a website with statistic of StarCraft players? You want probably a LIULI. Or Wikipedia. I'll write those to you so you can see them. You don't have to listen. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching. I will see you guys tomorrow for our 3v3 tournament. It's going to be TLMC 3v3. If anyone wants to come and play 3v3 tomorrow, you guys are very welcome to. I'll drop the link into the chat, so that is open entry. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye!